Water, Washington.
Ukraine's European allies gathering in Paris for talks about how to strengthen Kiev's hand and its military as it pushes for a ceasefire with Russia. Egyptian officials say 6 people have died, 9 others injured. A tourist submarine sank in the popular Egyptian Red Sea destination of Hurghada. Watching Wall Street ahead of this morning's opening bell, as stock futures have been mixed. The Dow futures 75 points higher, NASDAQ futures down 19. More on these stories, townhall.com.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten.
Without Trinity support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
China cutting ties with a business mogul after his plans to sell Panama Canal port holdings to an American firm.
Media reports in China and the U.S. detail Beijing's wrath at the Panama Ports deal by Mr. Lee's C.K. Hutchinson conglomerate. It announced earlier in March that it plans to sell a range of global port assets, including 2 at the Panama Canal, to a consortium led by U.S. private equity firm BlackRock. Beijing newspaper articles have been critical of the decision, and some pro-China commentators have called 96-year-old Mr. Lee a traitor and the multi-billion-dollar deal an act of betrayal to the Chinese people. The deal is due to be signed next week.
The BBC's Tracy Beckham. Wind-driven wildfires in South Korea's south region have killed at least 24 people, forced the evacuation of almost 29,000 others. News and analysis, townhall.com. Familiar with China, having been stationed there while a business executive, Montana Republican Senator Steve Daines has visited China again, meeting with various high-ranking government officials.
There's a lot of focus on security concerns going on in the South China Sea and as well as with Taiwan. There's concerns with intellectual property, forced technology transfer, human rights issues. These issues I've been talking about with the Chinese for many, many years.
And he tells the Salem Radio Network's Hugh Hewitt there is another area of major concern.
The focus, after I met with President Trump before I went, he was very glad I was going, was to focus on the issue of fentanyl and the precursors that are coming from China into Mexico and killing 100,000 Americans a year. The leading cause of death for 18 to 45-year-olds is fentanyl poisoning.
Daines, first member of Congress to visit Beijing since Mr. Trump returned to office in January. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy ringing Thursday, everybody. Yeah, our ringing's still going. I got to turn you on.
Thanks. I was like, no, that's cool.
Sorry, the ringing.
I'll sit here. I can go on your mic. That's fine.
It's starting to get very reminiscent of the movie Airplane 2.
Yeah. Where
they go to the moon base, and one William Shatner is there to receive them, and he's like, goes in there, and he's like, look at this place. He goes, he starts losing it. He goes, listen to all the flashing and the beeping. Why are these lights bleeping out of sequence? I don't know. Make them bleep in sequence.
Get them back in sequence.
Yeah. So, it's very reminiscent of that scene from Airplane 2.
I would imagine that if you're like a high-level doctor or a surgeon, hearing this constantly has got to be like your nightmare. You're like, I can't call it.
Yeah, fortunately you can't hear it on the radio, but we have a battery backup.
It's just basically a flatline sound.
It's like... to be honest, I didn't say it on air. I don't think yesterday, but we had the guests from American Legion on yesterday, and the noise was going then, and one of the guests commented saying, "Well, because of my tinnitus, I don't really hear it." And I said, "Well, today we all have tinnitus."
Yes. That's how it was. I explained it to somebody else, to my kid's mom. She's like, "You have tinnitus?" I'm like, you know this about me. This is why I can't go to sleep at all in a quiet room.
Yeah.
I can't. I have to have some semblance of noise or else it's it's one of the side effects of this industry, you know? Although I got to say I'm doing a lot better than some. I've worked with people who produce commercials in the past who you can't go into that side of the building because they have it cranked so loud. Because you have to hear some of the minute details.
Sure.
And these people are deaf.
And that's the thing. I don't know if I just have well-crafted ears. Because based on all of my career choices, I should be deaf.
Right.
But I hear, that's one of my better features. I can't see. I can't do a lot of things, but I can hear pretty well.
And I've always attributed that to my eyes are bad, so my ears are better.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
I'll put it this way. I can count the number of commercial producers that don't have to have the sound cranked up on one hand.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
Making sure that translates.
I'm the same way because I get blown out all the time because I'm like, man, these people are, and yes, there's some. But I don't know how I avoided it. I really don't, because like I was in the Air Force on flight lines and aircrafts.
Yeah, you were next to,
and that did nothing.
Jet streams.
Major to me because my hearing check's been great, and then 20 years in radio, which isn't great on the hearing either. So what are you gonna do? All right, I got to ask a quick question because we have we're gonna replay an interview we had earlier the week. We had Roswell Police Chief Lance Bateman and Deputy Chief Albert O'Donnell join us. We had a great conversation. Then we're going to play it for you here in just a few minutes. And then next hour, we're going to have Don Weld. We're going to talk animals, like really the rest of the show. Nice. Don Weld with Friends of the Spring River Zoo will join us in the 8 o'clock hour to talk about Friends of the Zoo. And then Crystal Noble from the Humane Society will join us in the 9 o'clock hour to talk dogs and cats.
But the truth about cats and dogs.
Yes. But I saw this right before the show. And there's one person on the planet I need to talk to about this with someone, and it is you.
All right.
If anybody would have a very opinionated thoughts on this, it would be
you.
Boy,
here we go.
So I was just scrolling, and someone asked on the Twitter, "Hey, where can I get one of those mustard pies, and what do they taste like?" And I said, what is that about? And so I hit the comments, and someone put a link to said mustard pie. There is a pizza joint in New Jersey called Papa's Tomato Pies, established in 1912, the oldest continuously family-owned pizza restaurant in the United States of America, and home of the mustard pie. I'm curious.
I am as.
Let me read you what the mustard pie consists
I'm trying to find it.
The mustard pie from their establishment consists. It's different sizes, but the small is a 14-inch thin layer of spicy brown mustard between the crust and the cheese, topped with tomato. Feel free to add your own toppings.
Topped with tomato? Topped with like tomato sauce?
It says topped with tomato. I don't know if that means like they bake tomato on it or
this
like
is
a mustard with just cut tomatoes baked on top. I'm not sure.
You got thin crust, brown mustard. You said spicy brown mustard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like a Dijon, and then your cheese. That already kind of slaps of like almost like a Wellington.
Okay.
Because you put the mustard and the mushroom remoulade or whatever. Maybe it has that similarity. Because see, when you said mustard pie, instantly I thought of just like using mustard, like yellow mustard, instead of the tomato sauce.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking. It's like that might actually be really good.
I think that's too much mustard. I think that to me, mustard is.
I would say mustard is my ketchup. Like I'm it's one of those things that if I'm not enjoying something, if I have mustard, I know I can at least get through it.
So folks like you would probably love that pizza.
It sounds
I think to the
delightful.
lay, that would be a little too much. About this pizza, I'm not going to lie, I'm not excited about it, but I would try it because I think that might be one of those things that in my head doesn't sound great, but what you actually just try it and put back all whatever hangups you have, might actually be pretty good.
Well, that's the thing is you have to basically suspend any kind of like, this is not going to be a fun. If you think you're not going to like it, you're not going to like it. You have to go in with completely broad expectations.
In all fairness, apparently this company makes a lot of money selling these pies. People don't buy things that they don't like consistently.
This is in Jersey?
Yeah, it's in Jersey.
Okay. Well, now I got a new place to pilgrimage.
Let me keep scrolling. I can tell you exactly where in New Jersey. 19 Robbinsville, Allentown Road, Robbinsville, New Jersey.
Robbinsville, okay.
08691.
Because I already have on I have tiers to my bucket list. My lower tier bucket list is I want to go to the Secret Stash in Red Bank.
Mm-hmm.
CJ and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in Red Bank.
Well, you can kill
so
two birds
now I'm thinking
Jersey's not that big of a state.
Yeah,
you can get them both in one day.
I got a lunch spot we can hit. That's awesome. But yeah, mustard pie. Here's the thing. For it being the oldest continuously run pizza place in the United States.
That's street cred.
Is this something they've been doing the whole time?
That I don't know. Now, they have an our story on there, and I have not read that. Because
I'm curious if this is like their signature or maybe something they come up with.
Well, it says, when you go to the thing, home of the mustard pie, which tells me that's their signature dish.
Right. You know? Burger King is the home of the Whopper, but they didn't come up with it for like 20 years.
What did they have before the Whopper?
Just burgers.
Did they?
Yeah.
Just little Kings on
It was when McDonald's established the Big Mac as their signature sandwich. They wanted one too.
I've seen all kinds of history of McDonald's. I haven't seen Bubkiss on Burger King.
There's a little bit out there.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I haven't personally seen it. So probably should get the hour going here. Yes. Like I said, we do have our interview with the Chiefs. Is a little long, so we're going to get that going here. 7:14 here for your listening pleasure is your weather, which we have some rain chances maybe. We'll see.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a low pressure system drifting in from the desert southwest, and that might bring us a few showers today. Afternoon high in the mid-70s. Our rain chances go up a little bit by midday and afternoon. A few showers overnight will drop into the upper 40s, and then we're back to sunshine on Friday, upper 80s, and then Saturday and Sunday look windy and sunny, highs in the 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 57 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 78%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 5 miles per hour. We do have a 40% chance at some scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 3 today. Partly cloudy and a high of 77 degrees with winds out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Today's the day I wear short sleeves. I'm wearing long sleeves all week. And now the day it's 70s, I'm like, I probably should have had the long sleeve today. But such is life. Tonight, we're looking at a 20% chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms before 9 p.m., mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 49 degrees, south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, mostly sunny, back up into the mid-80s. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 49 degrees, southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. Saturday, partly cloudy and breezy with a high of 83. West winds 5 to 10 early, picking up 15 to 20 for Saturday afternoon. Sunday, mostly sunny, 81 for a high. And then Monday, when you head back to it, sunny and 80 for a high there. All right, it is 7:16. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we'll play our interview with Police Chief Lance Bateman and Deputy Chief Aldana on the other side of the break here. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Spring is here, and we're turning up the heat during the Sizzling Spring Sales event at Roswell Honda. Now through Saturday, save thousands on a sizzling selection of vehicles. Take $5,000 off a new 2025 Honda Ridgeline, or $6,000 in total savings on 2025 Honda Odyssey. Or how about a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT, just $528 a month. Then join Roswell Honda this Saturday for free lunch and your chance to win a 5-burner all-black gas griddle. Drawing at 1, must be present to win. Get the deal you deserve during the Sizzling Spring Sales event at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Telephone scammers are targeting energy consumers. They demand payment over the phone or warn the power will be shut off immediately. Don't fall for these scams. Central Valley Electric Cooperative will never demand payment over the phone. Please, never give out financial or personal information to someone who calls claiming to be CVE. If you get such a call or have a question about your bill, call CVE at 575-746-3571 to get the facts.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio. And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, we have Police Chief Lance Bateman here and Deputy Chief Albert Aldana as well. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How's life behind the badge this morning?
Good. Until the wind starts blowing.
Right. Until, life, things happen. So, But first off, thank you guys for spending time with us on the show. Appreciate it. It's always great to talk to, our folks that see the day-to-day, what's going on in Roswell and stuff. And I always tell people, if you really want to see all of what Roswell's like, talk to a law enforcement officer. They see every nook and cranny of it, and they know the good parts, the bad, and there's parts of Roswell that some folks you wouldn't. That's Roswell, yes. And the only people who usually see it are people that live there in law enforcement, generally speaking. So, you guys have that unique kind of finger on the pulse of everything there, and it's kind of. I mean, and you guys can't do your job unless that's pretty much the only way you guys can. Your officers when they're out there, they're in the neighborhoods. They know, they're going. Because they work like beats, right? They have their area, and so they're there every day, and so they know, what's weird and what's just part of the neighborhood kind of thing. And that's how your men and women do their job every day, pretty much, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. We have 7 different zones, I believe, or areas that we have officers in. Of course, they have to jump around to different areas because we're so shorthanded right now.
Which, by the way,
yes,
love to have some more qualified men and women to be part of the team here.
Yeah, I'd love to. We're down, I think, 11 people right now.
You guys are, I've never heard yourself or sheriff or MSP or anybody else for that matter say, you know what, we're good right now. We got enough. You guys are pretty much, even when you're quote unquote at your numbers, that literally you're at your numbers for a week, and then a week later someone retires, or life happens, and then you're down again. So there's almost never a time when you guys aren't taking applications, or always looking for good qualified people to be part of the badge here. So if you're looking for a career with that you can really make a difference, RPD would love to talk to you about that.
Absolutely. I believe we're testing twice a month right now, our recruiting division, every other Saturday, I think.
Gotcha.
What it is.
And it's kind of, it's a little different than applying for other jobs. I would compare it to, for folks that have joined the military. It's similar in that process. Is you don't walk in one day, raise your hand, and next you know, here's a badge and you go to it. There's qualifications and stuff. Obviously, you go to police academy and things once you're hired on. But you guys really work with them leading up to it to get them ready for that kind of stuff. So by the time you go to the academy and all that, assuming you're getting hired on, you're not flying blind there. But like when you go through these testing dates, you guys work with folks that are really trying to do that and, making sure they're physically, all right, let's work out because you got to meet this need or you got to pass this test or we got to study. And so you work with, those candidates as they're going through that process for the ones that really show the interest, show the drive, show that they have the ability to do this kind of thing.
Yes. So we even have testing even if you can't come in on a Saturday.
Okay.
You just call us up and then we'll set something up a time with you.
Excellent.
So
we can work around your schedule too.
Yes, sir.
See, that's they want you to become part of this is so we're going to work with you. Obviously, the job is not for everybody. This is if you have a server's heart, if you have the ability to be even keeled in when situations get hairy, because I guarantee you're going to run into one of those as a law enforcement officer. You need those folks that handle pressure, handle well under pressure. Can be calm even when someone's yelling at you sometimes and have the ability to de-escalate rather than escalate things. If you're one of those types of people that kind of are good at talking and negotiating, that'll serve you well as a law enforcement officer, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, and when we get them into it, what I like about this department is we start the training right away before they even go to the academy. So sometimes we'll have somebody employed 4 or 5 months, and we put them through a field training program.
Give them a taste of what the day-to-day of being a police officer is like.
Exactly. So they're so far ahead by the time they start the academy, and then when they get back out, we can sometimes streamline it to get them directly on the streets instead of having to go through that training after.
Because they've kind of already did that prior to going to the academy.
Yes.
They already got that experience under their belt here, so to speak. So, and then there's also because I know like if you're underage, like because you got to be 21 to be a Roswell police officer. But if you're 18, you can be a service officer and serve in that capacity. And that's kind of like pre-cop training. And you do a lot of the things law enforcement do. And then when you turn 21, you're going to have that much experience when you go to the academy and go to be a full-fledged law enforcement officer.
Yeah, and it helps them with police report writing or listening to the radio.
Some of the minutia of the job here. Some of the, the day-to-day.
Oh, yes.
That doesn't get on the 8 o'clock, Thursday night drama show, but is very much vital part of the day-to-day of being a police officer.
Yeah, and it's been a huge success for the Roswell Police Department. I think right now we have 2 or 3 that are public service aides, and part of that, when they get hired, they know it builds them up to join the academy at 21, and I think almost everybody we've had since I've been here at least has gone right into the academy and become a police officer.
Well, and true, it also gets them familiar with the neighborhood and the neighborhood familiar with them.
Yes.
That relationship is, and so if they spent 2-3 years as a service officer, they're in neighborhoods, they're out in the street answering, like you said, filing reports and doing, they're not doing the.
Yeah, it builds a reputation with the community and with the department.
And so when they do get the full badge and they're there and they walk in the neighborhood, they're already going to have kind of a little bit of a relationship with some of those folks in the community. They already know the cut of that person's jib kind of thing, and so that. And to be honest, that's how you guys do your job day to day. It's that trust that gets established between the neighborhoods that you work in and the people that are serving them. And that's how the job does not happen without that relationship.
Oh yeah.
So those folks will be better set up to do that kind of thing and really take the most advantage of it. I do want to ask you, kind of getting out of the recruiting side. Last month we got to talk to Deputy Fire Chief, and one of the things that, issues, problems with the public they're dealing with that we talked about, I'm sure you deal with this same issue, is, driving. When folks are, when EMS, fire, police are trying to get to a scene, and the vehicles are going full lights and sirens and everything. One thing we were, telling the public is, look, those emergency vehicles always will be on the left. When you go down, like if you're going down Main Street and you hear the lights and sirens behind you or whatever, they're going to be left. So your job is to get right. Get right, get right, get right. that left lane, that's the lane we need to free up to allow fire truck, police vehicle, ambulance, whatever emergency vehicle we need to get through there. And so we're kind of educating that. I kind of want to ask you guys, I'm sure you deal with that kind of thing, but is there some other of those kinds of issues that we could share with the public that if you guys would be cognizant of this, you would make our officers' day just that much easier?
I think sometimes, and don't get me wrong, every time I see lights and sirens behind me, if I'm off duty, people tend to freak out.
Sure.
Just don't freak out.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
And I mean, that's the biggest thing. If they can just come to a safe spot where they can move to the right, I mean, yeah, you're going to be in the way for a little bit, but it's not a big deal.
Sure.
I mean, I'd rather them move out of the way safely than
go crazy
than trying to go
plow into
crazy and
something,
left
yeah.
and right, left and right. So, yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
is-
be calm. You're
Yeah.
right. Because I've seen that too, where I've seen people and they'll be in that left, and I've literally watched them bump the median to get over and almost hit a light pole and probably damage the vehicle and everything. Like, wow, just you don't have to be that urgent. Just let's do this safely here. But I know that's something that and I don't care what census numbers or anyone says. Main Street Roswell is busier than it was 10 years ago. I don't care what anybody says. There's more cars, there's more traffic, there's more people on that road. And so we all need to be cognizant of that stuff.
You know, and I think any emergency vehicle with lights and sirens looks aggressive from the rearview mirror.
Sure.
So
well,
once,
and they're going to be hauling butt depending on the nature of the call there. You know, there's a reason the lights and sirens are on. So
and just stay calm, find a safe spot to move to the right, and we'll be on our way.
Trust me, but the person driving the vehicle is trained to drive it a certain way, and we ask you, the public, to just get over and let them do it. They are, trust me, every police officer, every firefighter that drives one of these vehicles, I'm sure there's extensive training on these are what people do when you turn the lights on and sirens. You have to be cognizant of these things.
Oh, yes.
And so they are well trained, but make their life easier. They've got, and to be honest, the more you're being nervous and being that way, that's seconds that police car, that fire truck is not where it needs to be doing what it needs to do. So that's the big ticket. Is we want to make sure everybody gets safe, but please understand, when you see a police car, you see a fire truck, and it's barreling down that left lane, it's always going to be the left lane. They're always going to be in the left lane. So if you see it, if you're in the rearview mirror and you see you've got a couple blocks to go, just make your way right in a casual way and make it a little easier.
Yes.
Now, and obviously, if you're stuck at a traffic light or something, and you can't move either way, then don't move. Stay there and let the emergency vehicle, they'll navigate accordingly to do that.
Oh, yes.
If you're in a jam, they understand that and they'll act accordingly. But if you have the ability to get over, get over.
Yeah, and I think the emergency driving, especially, we've had some incidents in the last 6 months where we've had some crashes. We had one on Main Street. Where
that one was a couple weeks ago. I mean, you can't help it when you drive by it and see it.
Yeah, we had that one on North Main, and then we had one a couple months ago where, unfortunately, a person lost his life. And so trying to do our part also, we've got with FLETC. We're partnering with them to do more hands-on training.
Oh, good. So get your officers
training.
some more experience, because let's face it, you hope they're not having to do that stuff. But the likelihood of them having to do it, I don't know, once or twice a year is probably not unheard of.
Yeah, and we haven't really gone through it. Once you go through the academy, you don't get training afterwards on like pursuit driving or emergency driving. So FLETC, we reached out to them, and we're doing our first class, I believe, in April with 12 of our officers.
And really, the policing philosophy and a lot of that stuff's changed. I'm talking nationally on some of that. I mean, I know some departments, obviously depending on locations and populace and all that, but like when you get in a high-speed chase situation or stuff, a lot of the rules and stuff kind of change on that. And I'm sure with your officers, it's a case-by-case deal. It's like if it's a lot of people, and they're like, we're going to break this off. But we're out in the middle of nowhere, which we have a lot of nowhere of. We can open it up.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's a good, you brought that up, and one of the things we've discussed as a staff is vehicle pursuits are real dangerous.
Yeah.
But there's a reason we're chasing somebody a lot of times.
What you're chasing is way worse if left to its own accord.
It could be. It could be, depending on, a lot of times we'll terminate a pursuit if we know the person that we're chasing, if it's non-felony. But what we've done is we've ramped up a drone program. So we actually have a couple drones.
The technology work for you.
Technology. We've started the Real-Time Crime Center here in Roswell, which is eventually we'll have live cameras on every stoplight, and there are cameras on every stoplight right now, but they're not live.
Sure.
Well,
they're not live.
They're not live.
Recorded. I got you.
So we started this last year. And we have an operations center in the police department, and it's live where somebody will monitor these cameras in public areas.
I think I've seen like I think I saw something on TV, and it was a bigger like a Florida, I think it was more like it was like a spring break situation. It was one of those Florida towns like Fort Lauderdale, one of those. And they literally had, I think what you're talking about here, it's like this room with these cameras or not cameras, monitors, and it almost looks like something out of a like Mission Control or something with a bunch of computers, and then literally there's an officer there just monitoring, and they can see, oh, there's some riffraff on this corner, send a unit. There's something going on over here. So that's what you guys are basically setting up here for our community.
Well, yeah, and it'll stop vehicle pursuits. We can track people. We can back off and track them with cameras through town. And
sure, so you can just follow them, and then, all right, they're at the Whataburger now having lunch. Let's go get them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the same thing when President Trump was when the gentleman tried to assassinate him at the golf course. Or I can't remember, at the park.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the sheriff's department down there in Florida where they were at tracked him on Real-Time Crime Center. Nice. They use their technology, and that's how they end up catching him. So
nice.
We're hoping that'll benefit Roswell. And
just GG was curious, so the person that serves that, is that more like a dispatcher role? Or is that a full-fledged law enforcement officer that does that? I was just curious, because I figure like if you call 911, it'd be someone like that's monitoring that, or do you actually have an officer that, I guess if need be, could leave it to go take care of a scene if needed?
It'd be both. So at all times, we'll have an officer in there, a certified police officer, and then civilian staff running them. So
just more eyes.
The reason for the officer is the police team concept. If a civilian were to see somebody driving recklessly or commit a crime,
makes sense.
The officer, a lot of times, depending on the severity of the crime, would have to witness the violation to take immediate action.
So he can
if
do
there's
that.
a certified police officer in there, they can use the police team concept. And he's witnessed it, so then he can.
So that makes it testimony and evidence you can use in the court case when you're prosecuting later, and it holds up in court just by having that law. And plus, it's just probably good because at the end of the day, you're going to want, because whatever decisions come out of that hub is you want the law enforcement one to be the final shot on that in case of it. Normally yes we do, but we're going to let that one. You know what I'm saying? Just. They can assess the situation in the emergency level of that moment better than maybe someone that's not trained to do those things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Whereas if you have a dispatcher or something, they can gather information, get information, share information, but assess it and determine what to do with that information. Maybe you want a law enforcement. If that makes sense.
Yes.
And so that allows for that. So that's cool. It makes sense. But I love that with this is the way of the future. I mean, this is going to be to a point where now. Do you think like if we go, because you're talking about drones and the technology there, do you think we'll get to a point where like every officer will have a drone literally in the back of their car, sitting there with their other tools, and if they need to whip it out, just go. All right, well let's go send this out. And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning we have Police Chief Lance Bateman here, and Deputy Chief Albert O'Donnell as well. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How's life behind the badge this morning?
Good. Until the wind starts blowing.
Right. Until life things happen. So, but first off, thank you guys for spending time with us on the show. Appreciate it. You want the law enforcement one to be the final shot on that in case of it. Normally yes we do, but we're going to let that one. You know what I'm saying? Just. They can assess the situation in the emergency level of that moment better than maybe someone that's not trained to do those things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Whereas if you have a dispatcher or something, they can gather information, get information, share information, but assess it and determine what to do with that information. Maybe you want a law enforcement. If that makes sense.
Yes.
And so that allows for that. So that's cool. It makes sense. But I love that with this is the way of the future. I mean, this is going to be to a point where now. Do you think like if we go, because you're talking about drones and the technology there, do you think we'll get to a point where like every officer will have a drone literally in the back of their car, sitting there with their other tools, and if they need to whip it out, just go. All right, well let's go send this out in the field instead of sending a bunch of officers. I mean, is the future taking us that way?
Well, I think it already has. We already use drones to clear buildings on a high risk.
Gotcha. I just didn't know if it was as common where a drone is going to be like a gun is on their hip, there's going to be a drone in the trunk of their vehicle kind of thing. Are we getting there where it's going to be like that?
Not for every officer, but I know in certain situations we are using drones.
I imagine it is expensive, but
oh yeah.
Well, because
these aren't Radio Shack drone jobbers. These are a little more high tech.
Well, there's times you can't use it, and you can. So there's stipulations like there's Fourth Amendment laws and stuff. We can't, like with the Real Time Crime Center, we can't just put cameras in front of somebody's house.
Right. There's legalities,
yes.
but then I know but if it's in the public and if it's on the public, then there is no reasonable sense of privacy. Therefore, they're legal. I know it gets iffy on where you can and do that, but pretty much the standard is I think like, say if someone's just walking around the public with their smartphone going, you can't do a thing about that. That's perfectly legal. Yeah. Even if you don't like them doing it, there's well within their right, but you can't like set up a camera, leave it there, and say, there's rules on how that goes.
And there's rules. We can't just have somebody in the Real Time Crime Center watching certain people walking down the street.
So you can't profile.
You can't profile.
Is the
so
term.
It's
unless they give you something like, hey, that guy's looking shady. Let me, like, you just grab something. Let me see. I mean, short of that, follow them around for that, but you can't just pick a random person and follow them.
No, yeah.
But if you see them do something like steal something or something, hey, and then you can follow them.
Well, the reactionary part is really what's going to help. If somebody commits a burglary in Enchanted Hills, we'll have cameras on stoplights on Sycamore and Second, and so we can a lot of times, get somebody leaving the area.
Absolutely, and I imagine too, it may make a dent in the biggest part of when you have burglaries and things is getting recovered property back.
Oh yes.
Usually that's we may got the person, but the chances of you getting whatever it is you got stolen aren't, depending on what it is, obviously. But this might, maybe increase those odds a little bit here. I mean, cars and stuff sometimes do, but when your guns, stereos, things like that, sometimes they disappear, never to see them again. Or you might see them at an auction some year later, where they were recovered from another case or something.
Yeah. Well, and we used that technology yesterday. We're looking for an armed robbery suspect out of Artesia.
Okay.
And supposedly armed and had information he was somewhere in the downtown area maybe, so we deployed our drone and started searching for him, and we ended up eventually finding him and taking him into custody. So
great. And
technology worked.
The beauty was no one was hurt.
Exactly.
And that's the great part about this stuff is it's nobody's hurt. Everybody goes and everyone lives to fight another day here. And that's the win for you as law enforcement. Whenever you guys come into, and that's something I think we, the public, need to know when a police officer shows up at your home or at your office or wherever at the scene here. They're going to be coming in with first things first, making sure everything's safe and secure. And once that's established, then they'll start talking to you and sorting things out. But please remember, especially, and this is something I think all of us need to learn, and this is that relationship between law enforcement and the community is so important. And I got to be honest, I think we here in Southeast New Mexico, I think overall there's a good relationship with our law enforcement.
Oh, yes.
Like that. But I think some of the animosity is that lack of knowledge between what you guys do and what you know what I mean? And so if I think the public understands the mindset of an officer and why they do these things, then you don't come in all hot and bothered about it. You wonder, because if it's a ramped up situation where people are arguing, where tensions are up, officers are going to come in hot to de-escalate quick, and they're going to do whatever it is to put people in cuffs, to restrain people, whatever it takes to make sure no one's going to be hurting anybody. Once that's established, then you're going to see the switch flip a little bit. All right, let's talk. What's going on? And then you see the psychologist hat come on. Let's figure it out. And then from there, they can go, if we need to send some people away for the night, or we just need to tell everybody to calm down. Whatever we need to do, they go from there. But that's how law enforcement is going to handle that situation every single time. So if you understand that, if they come in guns blazing a little bit hot, it's because they don't know who's safe, what's safe. For their own safety, for your safety, we need to lock this down the safety side. Once that's established, then we can talk. And that's what happens. And so I think a lot of people would have a lot less problems if you just understood that, comply, be in the restraints, whatever the officer is asking you to do to stabilize that situation for the moment, comply. Because I guarantee you, once everything's stabilized, the cuffs will come off, you'll start talking, and you'll start acting like humans to each other. Mm-hmm. And so if we can remember that, I know it's hard, especially if you've already been fighting in a hothead situation, But that's once you see the folks in the badge come up, that's what they're going to be doing every single time. And once that's established, then you're going to see the human side. But until they know that this situation's safe, it's going to be cackles up, on point. Whatever protections are needed, we're going to have at the ready, kind of thing. Yeah. So, if I'm wrong there, please
no,
tell
you're
me.
absolutely
But that's
right.
that's the mindset. And so once you do that, and it's all part of the training. It's all because when a law enforcement officer walks into one of these situations, they only know what dispatch was able to garner from information. Sometimes it's a lot of information. Sometimes it's not a lot of information. Sometimes it's a lot of information, but not enough information. And so this is why they really are flying blind in a lot of these situations, because the dispatchers do an amazing job of trying to de-escalate, gather information to give every officer that rolls in onto a scene as much knowledge of what they're about to roll into as possible. But it's just physically impossible sometimes. So until that's established, law enforcement will come in hot.
Oh, yeah.
Going to happen every time. So.
Yeah, and our officers go through a lot of de-escalation training, along with a lot of dealing with mentally ill.
Sure.
That's become a big thing in the last couple of years, especially. So we put a lot of our training focus on those two areas.
Yeah, and I know that there's been talks with the city and all this stuff where in counties and state where maybe there's going to be some changes on how we address some of that, where there might be some other people coming in to kind of help law enforcement deal with those situations where law enforcement are there to protect and serve, and but maybe some of these other people can help you guys be the psychiatrists out there and de-escalate and solve problems. So I know that's all in the process, how we're doing it. I think everyone sees that this might be a good thing, how we execute it and how we do it, but specifically that's where we're kind of nailing details on. But this is some of the future stuff that you're going to see, where you might show up and hanging out with one of our boys and girls in blue is going to be one of these kind of social worker type, de-escalator type persons that can deal with the mental health side of some of these issues.
And even on the flip side, as far as with the public, and we also started the peer support program at the police department, because we're also dealing with some of the issues that we see every day as officers. So I know we got the chaplains on board. We got 3 chaplains right now. One's fixing to leave, but they come in and hang out with the guys, maybe do some ride-alongs.
Sure.
We also have what's the courthouse dogs come in.
Oh yeah, the DA dogs
Yes,
and
sir.
all that. Yeah, all, and that's making that connect and making because police officers, we're all people. Everybody's people.
Yes, sir.
And once we realize we're all people, despite what we got on our chest or don't have on our chest, and you're like, okay, it's you know what I mean. That's and this is something too. I always that I think we as families and everything else, and we need to. And I know you guys do your part to do this to kind of foster this, but we as families, we need to teach your kids when you see a person wearing a uniform, that's a place for information, resources, safety. Anytime you talk to someone in that's going to be a person of help, and so if you instill that young and that mindset, knowing that, so and make it, and that's why we have our Halloweens and all this, and you let the kids come and light the sirens and because we want the kids and them to see you guys in that light. So when they have to see you again in a different light, they come to you, running to you. And that's something that we as a community need to do. Teach your kids, teach your families, work with them, show them these are the people that when things don't go right in your community, these are the ones that are going to help you through that. And if we can just instill that at that age, I guarantee some of the vitriol that comes down later and will disappear. It's all part of we all have to do our part in every little bit. Obviously, law enforcement, you guys have gone through a really I'm going to say rebranding, but really just of how you guys do your training. And I'm sure when you guys were first bald-faced boys signing, what you were taught as a law enforcement officer is way different than what you guys are experiencing here as leadership in the RPD.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot different. And I think going back on the kids growing up and stuff, we've expanded our school resource officer program. So we had 2, now we have 4. And I think that's a big thing. They do an awesome job in the schools, and it's teaching these kids from a young age that we're there to support them and help them.
Sure.
And
they're like buddies there in the campuses, the various campuses that they all kind of work at. they're looked at again, like they're not teachers, but they're looked at in that same light as people to talk to. I mean, I imagine half your school officers, they're probably psychiatrists. Oh, Bobby's got a thing with so and so, and what do I do about that? And I bet half of them are telling them how to navigate that kind of stuff. I would bet my paycheck that's what they're doing in there.
Oh yeah, and they do. They go to a lot of the school activities, football games, and they interact with these young adults and even young children at the smaller schools, and they build that relationship to where they're comfortable around them, and it also helps us in the long run when you build that relationship. They're more apt to talk to a police officer about a crime they may have seen.
If they saw something or witnessed something, they're going to be like, well, that's good people there. They need to know about this. That's policing in a nutshell, folks. That's how it works, is that relationships with the community and everything else, and looking at and that's the mindset that we, the public, you don't look at law enforcement as, yes, at need be, they're the ones that are going to protect and serve the law and make sure the law is being followed. That's at the end of the day, that is in the mission statement of what a police officer does. But there's so many levels to that, and that's where because we don't have to arrest and throw everybody in jail if we can just say, can you agree on this for a minute? And that's really what I'm going to take a guess. A typical shift for a law enforcement officer is that they're just going in, handling arguments, disputes, being referees, being just, all right, can we work this out here? And literally being just minor problem solvers. And, the part you see on TV, the part you see in the videos, that's this much of the job. Most of it is talking to people on a daily basis, sitting there, probably, when they're on a lunch break, they're sitting in there, and then there's someone talking to them, and they're just, hey, man, have you been doing this? Have you been keeping up with this? Mentoring and people in the public. And, that's the day-to-day of a law enforcement officer.
Oh, yes.
So that being said, kind of going back to the recruitment side, if you like that stuff, if you love talking to the public and being that kind of person that walks in the room and everyone looks to and says, you know what, that's a person I can trust. That's what this career is. And now you're going to have to earn that. You're going to have to learn it. You're going to have to earn the respect of the people you go. But you'll do that through your training and through your personality.
Yeah. It's like the chief says. Sometimes he thinks I'm a social butterfly. if you like being a social butterfly,
you got to.
You got to be.
Yeah, and the great part is, I'm going to take a stab that when you have officers that are from here, that live in the area and know the area, they're going to have a better ability to connect because they already got established relationships, friends, families. That being said, you'll take law enforcement officers, if they're qualified and meet the needs and do everything. They're not from here, no big deal. But I would imagine if you're from here and live here, that is going to be a bigger advantage to you as a law enforcement officer for the Roswell Police Department. And that is something that I'm going to say you two men probably would find attractive in hiring that person.
Well, if you're from here and this has been your community forever, you take, I think, a little more ownership and pride.
Absolutely.
In
that town, man.
And it's the same thing, with the fire department and police department. So most of the people in those organizations are hometown people.
And I think we get more recruitment from family members or friends. We have a lot of
law enforcement is a family business.
Yes.
A lot of times, if mom or dad serve the children, it's are pretty good odds that they if they don't serve in that department, they serve some department. They serve in the badge as well too. That's fire, same thing. All those guys, I mean, you can't watch a movie about firefighters and not be some family thing where grandpa is a firefighter and the kid's a firefighter and the grandkid's about to be a firefighter. Everyone firefighter movies really.
And like we always say, when we talk to our younger officers, we're our best recruiters. When we're out there talking to the kids or talking to even adults at the coffee shop.
Sure.
If we're professional and polite and stuff, people will more often sign up for an organization when they see that than if you're not talkative.
It's good that our community still looks up to officers. There's always one in every, but we still live in a community where a police officer is sitting in a coffee shop or just whatever doing, people treat that respect and that, like you said, that awe of, hey, that's a pillar in our community. And that's so if you're interested in being a pillar, come be our PD officer.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you. Let's talk to you. And let's start the ball rolling. Because, and again, this isn't a job. This is a lifestyle. It's a career. Every single police officer I know, when they're off duty, they're still police officers. You know what I mean? That's just the life. And so if be prepared for that. But at the same time, if you want to be that person that, people like, people talk to, people, and that, by the way, it's a brother and sisterhood. Police officers, as a person who's been in the military, I understand that the people that you work with at a police department, it's different than any other coworkers at any other establishment. These are literally people that are in the trench with you. And so it's more of a family mindset. And with that is the good and bad. They love hard and fight hard. Don't get me wrong, I bet there's some officers that, it's just, when you're that close, things happen. But at the end of the day, that breeds a common bond that, those people go to war with each other.
Oh, yeah.
Literally. And they do it on a daily basis. And unless you've been involved with that or been a part of something like that, it's hard to explain it. And so if you crave that belonging, a career as a law enforcement officer will offer that very much because of the nature of the work you guys do, everybody's watching, everybody's sick. And, when you see someone's, because I'm going to take a stab, every single officer at one point or another, it's a wall. It's a moment of, this is a lot to handle, this is a lot, and that's when your brothers and sisters rally around you and help you navigate through that. And that's what this career is.
Oh, yeah.
It's very much of that. So that being said, if you want that sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, RPD can offer that too. So.
Oh, yeah.
But have the server's heart, because that's the end.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. If folks are interested, just come on down to the police station here, or go. You can always go to the city's website to start the application process, roswell-nm.gov. But what? Obviously,
it's an online application.
Yeah.
You can do that, or you can call the recruitment office, which is the same number as the police department.
Okay.
And then talk to one of the recruiters, and maybe get the ball rolling that way as well.
And don't hesitate. You're having lunch or something, see an RPD sitting there, talk to them, ask them, what's life, what's the day-to-day like on this thing? I'm interested. And I'm guarantee almost every single officer would love to. Now, if they're in the middle of doing their job, let them go. But if they're just, standing there, monitoring or maybe having a cup of coffee, they wouldn't mind you asking.
Yeah, Officer Kidd is our recruiting officer, and she does an excellent job. So they can
You probably see her out and about.
her.
She's all over the place. So
Yeah.
much like many of the other officers.
Yeah, so she'd be happy to meet with anybody and tell them, what the job entails and the training entails and stuff, and help them out with the process.
It's like anything else in life. You're going to get out of it what you put into.
Oh, yes.
And that's and if you put in your whole heart and soul into law enforcement, you're probably going to have a very rewarding career in law enforcement. And whatever you take it, you could be sitting here with the 4 stars or the 3 stars on your collar here in not a couple years, but 10, 15 years. Gentlemen, is there anything we missed that you guys wanted to cover that we just got sidebarred on or anything like that?
No, I think, we've covered a lot of it. I just can't say how proud I am of the men and women at the police department. And, everybody talks about the police officers out on the street, but, it's a great team effort. The people behind the scenes, our admin assistants, our dispatchers.
Yeah, those people are godsends, every single one of them.
Our TSU, our technical services, which process the crime scenes, they're civilians. And without them, we'd be way behind the curve.
You'd be really lost.
Oh, yeah.
They do an excellent job.
The property custodians,
It's a great team effort at our department, and super proud of everybody over there, because we've done a great job. When I took this position 2 years ago, I didn't know what to expect. I'd worked with Roswell Police Department some from where I came with, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
They were far ahead of a lot of the agencies, even somewhat the agency I came from.
Nice.
So the training aspect of it, they do an excellent job. So I think it would not be good to go through it without thanking all those people that work for us, even on the behind the
there's
scenes.
not a single patrol officer that can do their job without that support system behind. None of that. It's all a team. It's all equal parts, and that's like we talked about dispatching earlier and stuff. Those folks, they can really make or break how a scene goes down, and they do an excellent job of making sure it goes the right way every single time. So.
No, and I think when you get to my level and Deputy Chief Aldana's level, we probably
joined by U.S. Attorney General Tuesday. Operation 5% tariffs on imported vehicles and vehicle parts next week.
This will continue growth.
Founded on biblical principles. Mike Gallagher, the only mortgage company I've used for almost a decade now when financing or refinancing flagship home loans. I'm friends with the owners, Mike and Brian. I even have them on my show occasionally.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Capitol next month.
The Dodgers have accepted President Trump's invitation to the White House to celebrate their World Series title. The Dodgers confirmed they will visit on April 7th before opening a series with the Washington Nationals, and added that members of the team plan to visit Capitol Hill on April 8th. Manager Dave Roberts called it a huge honor that each World Series champion gets to experience. Keith Peters, Washington.
Synthetic dyes used to make brightly colored cereals, drinks, and candies coming under scrutiny in states around the country. Lawmakers say the federal government is stalled, taking action despite evidence of harmful effects. West Virginia became the first to sign a sweeping statewide ban on 7 such dyes this week. Lawmakers in more than 20 states making a bipartisan push to restrict access to the dyes. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. So flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ, the travel witch, and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce?
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Yes, welcome to it.
Yeah, it's week's almost done. I ain't gonna lie, because I've got plans for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little shortitis. I'm like,
yeah.
After work tomorrow, can't get here soon. I'm ready to get out of Dodge for a little bit.
Mike's ready to go play in the mountains for a little while.
Yeah, just a change of scenery, change of, having a day or two of not having to do anything out.
Something about
I feel like doing.
Walking out and then just enjoying a view on a balcony, somewhere.
That's right.
Over the lake.
Zip lining.
That's up Ruidoso.
Yeah.
It's a man-made lake.
Most lakes are.
Yes.
Come from rivers. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out of town.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
Kind of a nice bit change of pace. Plus, I'll get my new vehicle going kind of its first little mini road trip.
Oh, that's right.
So it'll be nice.
You going to take it maybe a little off terrain, maybe on a dirt road or something?
I will go where the road takes me.
There you go.
I don't know. Who knows? Let's see what we'll get into.
Here's a question. Have you explored the inside of your Jeep to find your spirit animal yet?
No, I haven't. And I got to do the research. I don't know if Gladiators have the same rules as the Wranglers do. I have to research that. I'm not sure.
Curious.
I'm not sure if Gladiators have, because every Wrangler has their spirit animal. That's somewhere in the vehicle of your Jeep. If you don't know it, look around in your Jeep. There's several different ones. I've seen a gecko. There's a couple different ones.
I can tell you that in the what's the one that Tanner has?
He's got the Liberty?
Yeah, no, it's one of those, but they have the spirit animals.
Okay.
So I wonder if it's across the
all
thing.
Jeep brand? I don't know. I would make sense they put one in it. I just haven't gone digging through that yet.
It says this one says from 2021. Just recently, I was told that Jeep has placed little images throughout Gladiators secretly.
Okay.
So
there you go. Spirit animal. Yeah, I'll go digging.
Look around a little bit
and see. Yeah, it's always a fun thing. I found my Wrangler one, and it was like a lizard.
There's a few. There's just from exploring around, in one of those vehicles. Don't ask me why. I found like a bat. I think there was like a Yeti.
A Yeti? Not the cooler.
No, like a Bigfoot.
Abominable snowman.
Like a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few of them.
Yeah. Mine has an old lady with a shopping cart.
That makes you wonder.
All right. Mine's got a whole forest scene.
I found what looks like the shadow of a dog on the front, but I think I might have just hit a dog.
But yeah, I wasn't sure. I haven't done it yet, but one day I was going to get through. I'm to be honest, I'm going from no amenities to many amenities in the vehicle, and so I'm still kind of figuring out the amenities. I'm like, all right now, because everything's touchscreen. I got a big touchscreen now, and so I'm like, okay, there's knobs, but then there's also touchscreen stuff that do the same thing as the knobs, and so I'm kind of like, I can adjust the air here or here, the sound here or here, and then I got to go here. And my phone's a little different in this Jeep than my old Jeep.
It's been proven. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has done like a whole thing where they found touchscreens are just inefficient when you're in a driving situation because you actually have to look away from the road and look at the screen. That's why they are trying to bring back actual knobs.
Well, in my week of ownership, I've hybrided it. Like if I'm driving, I usually knob it.
Yeah.
But if
As
I'm
one
like,
should.
as I start the vehicle or as I'm in a spot before I'm about to go someplace,
Mhm.
then I'm doing that.
I will say having a primitive vehicle has maybe saved my bacon. I mean, I still have the screen, but all my screen stuff, it's still like touch and all that, but all my screen stuff is done with like buttons. So
Gotcha.
I have a manual volume knob. I don't have the controls on my steering wheel, so it's very primitive. I've got crank windows.
My old Jeep did. My old Jeep had crank windows, manual locks.
It had a crank driver too.
That's right, cranky old driver. The only luxury I had in it was I could Bluetooth my phone to it. It had a touch screen. It did not have a navigation unit. It had the ability for me to play my music on it, and it had like a storage thing if I wanted to store actual MP3s on it. Like, who does that? But anyway,
I remember when I was peak cool uncle. It was several years ago. It was back when my nieces and nephews were like sub teens. I want to say like tweens still. So they had the attitude, but I got, now our families always had, vehicles, but just, they were vehicles. I was one of the first in the family to have one you could Bluetooth your phone to, and it was fascinating technology. But the car I had at the time was a Fiesta, and one of the cool features was you could change the color of the lights inside.
Like Volkswagen did that with Jettas for a while.
Yeah. So it was, I was showing the Bluetooth and showing the lights, and I was peak cool uncle. It's never been that good.
Well, and now my new vehicle, like I've got an app. And so from it, I'm going
to start my car right now.
Like I can do, like it gives me a whole report, how much gas I got left in my tank.
Nice.
I can, if I want to start it or honk the horn or unlock the
Okay,
door.
Gene.
Yeah, all this one's got all that on the, I can do it with my phone.
Gene is the only person I've ever known who has talked about his new generator that connects to Bluetooth. But why?
My Jeep is way cooler than a generator.
No, I know. But it's just he's so into that technology, and
he does.
Everything he owns has to have some kind of Bluetooth connectivity.
But that's just a new thing, and so now I'm like, in theory, now I'm almost like that would be a very handy feature if we lived in a colder environment.
Oh, absolutely.
We don't
start
really.
your car and
I have a
warm it up.
garage and we live in New Mexico, so I'm kind of like, I don't like to use the start feature, remote start feature very often.
No, I've said this before. The only reason in southeastern New Mexico to have a remote start on your vehicle is to impress people. Like that's the only reason. And I tell Carl every time because she has the remote start, I'm like, all right.
Or mess with people when they borrow your vehicle. That's fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already did it once with wife was in there and just randomly honked the horn. Like that,
that's diabolical. You hack into the cameras, see that she's right behind a cop.
Her Hyundai does the same thing, and so she can retort back. Problem is, she never lets me drive her car.
Yeah.
We have owned, my wife and I own a vehicle, and we've had it for, 5-6 years. I've driven it twice. My whole life.
And one of those was because of a medical emergency. So
no, I took my Jeep.
That's fair.
No, like Albuquerque. Actually, when we've been in Albuquerque a couple times. That's like the 2 times I drove it. We were in Albuquerque, and I drove something or drove somewhere while she did something. That's pretty much it. I've owned a car 6 years, and I've driven it twice.
Fair enough.
All right, let me give you a rundown for today's show, or this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a bit. There's a chance of rain.
It's kind of heavy outside, not like moist, but like.
Well, it's not till like after
thick.
3 today.
But there's humidity in the air.
Yes, there's moisture.
You can feel
in
it
the air.
everywhere. Yeah, there's moisture in the air.
Breathe moist.
I breathe moist. We're back here again.
Yeah, we're not going back here, but it's going to come back a lot. It just will.
I revealed yesterday on the program that I breathe moist. Like I don't when I breathe, it tends to be very moisture heavy.
And the way he said it, it just hit me, and I could not stop laughing for a solid 20 minutes. And that term, breathe moist, just stuck. And then for the rest of the day, I'm crowbarring the word breathe moist into various parts of my day, and I just could not stop doing it. So. Like I want to start a whole, like the Got Milk campaign. Yeah. I want to start a Breathe Moist campaign.
It's like my Live Strong. Breathe Moist. Let's get it on bracelets.
Like, I feel like some energy drink or some health drink has not already got that as their slogan.
You know what? I know a guy. I'm going to get his shirt printed up.
Oh, a one of one, please. Or one of two. We each get one. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, that's Team Breathe Moist.
Breathe moist and breathe moister. All right, let me get the hour going. That weather always hangs me up. But we'll do the weather, and there is moisture in the weather forecast here for today. And then shortly thereafter, we're going to have Don Weld wearing one of his many, many hats. Actually, we're going to talk Friends of Spring River Zoo this morning, and they're, with the flooding, with everything, the zoo's kind of, been on a back burner of rehab and so the Friends of the Zoo kind of also took the back burner. But now that we're back going, trying to get the zoo back into its former glory, Friends of the Zoo also need to get back to its former glory as well too. So that's what we're working on. So Don will talk a little bit about that with us here today. And then later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety Wall Street Business Update and whatever else we can come up with before the hour is up here. But first, let's take a gander at that weather.
Weather this hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment. Hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a low pressure system drifting in from the desert southwest, and that might bring us a few showers today. Afternoon high in the mid-70s. Our rain chances go up a little bit by midday and afternoon. A few showers overnight will drop into the upper 40s, and then we're back to sunshine on Friday, upper 80s, and then Saturday and Sunday look windy and sunny, highs in the 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, did I refresh my weather? I did not. There it is. Now it's fresher. 56 degrees. Yeah, that's a fun toy. 56 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 84%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 5 miles per hour. There is a 40% chance that we could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms. They're talking mainly after 3 o'clock today. For the day, partly cloudy. A little cooler, 77 for a high today, which I downright dig that. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. We are looking at a 20% chance of rain into the evening hours. Isolated showers and thunderstorm possibilities till about 9 p.m. Then mostly cloudy for the overnight here with overnight low of 49 degrees. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Things warm back up for you Friday, mostly sunny, back into the mid-80s, 86 for a high tomorrow. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, cloudy with an overnight low of 49. Southwest winds 10 to 15, dropping down 5 to 10 after midnight. Saturday, partly cloudy and high of 83, a little breezy. West winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Sunday, we're looking at sunny skies and a high of 81 and sunny and 80 when you head back to work and school on Monday. All right, 8:19, we're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then Don Weld will join us here talking Friends of the Spring River Zoo. Don't go away.
The Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation salutes hunters in the role they play in providing critical funding for conservation. Celebrate how hunting is conservation at the Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation Annual Banquet, Saturday, April 12th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. The Roswell Banquet will take place on April 12th at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at rmef.org and go to the New Mexico Events tab. Celebrate hunters at the Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation Roswell Banquet, Saturday, April 12th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. Have you experienced the Valley Cafe yet? It's much more than lunch or dinner. It's an experience. Chef Anthony Noble is a nominated Chef of the Year and manager with a 4.9 out of 5 kitchen cleanliness rating and a 4.8 out of 5 most loved rating. It's time for you to experience the difference that so many others already have at the Valley Cafe. Visit for lunch or dinner at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. And save the Valley Cafe in your contacts. 575-755-EATS. 575-755-3287. Don't forget, we can cater your event too, and a portion of our proceeds go to the Dream Center in Roswell.
When managing a chronic illness, access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more.
Are you ready to succeed? The health education programs at ENMU Roswell can set you up for success with a wide variety of courses such as emergency medical services, fire science, medical assisting, nursing, and respiratory therapy. ENMU Roswell can prepare you for a rewarding career in the healthcare industry. ENMUR stacks courses in order to get the student into a job as quickly as possible while creating a pathway for more advanced certifications, licenses, and degrees. Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. Success starts here.
Spring is here, and we're turning up the heat during the Sizzling Spring Sales Event at Roswell Honda. Now through Saturday, save thousands on a sizzling selection of vehicles. Take $5,000 off a new 2025 Honda Ridgeline or $6,000 in total savings on 2025 Honda Odyssey. Or how about a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT, just $528 a month. Then join Roswell Honda this Saturday for free lunch and your chance to win a 5-burner all-black gas griddle. Drawing at 1, must be present to win. Get the deal you deserve during the Sizzling Spring Sales Event at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Artesia Main Street is bringing the fun to downtown. On Friday, March 28th, following the main event car cruise, enjoy the Downtown Street Dance with live music from Mammoth Cults. Plus food trucks, great tunes, and an evening of nonstop fun, all with free admission. Don't miss the Downtown Street Dance with music from Mammoth Cults happening Friday, March 28th, 6:30 p.m. in the heart of downtown Artesia. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
For one night only, it's the Let It Begin Tour with Big Daddy Weave. Along with Ben Fuller and Megan Woods.
The truth is I am my father's child.
The Let It Begin Tour with Big Daddy Weave, Ben Fuller, and Megan Woods. Friday, April 11th at the Walter Gero Performing Arts Center in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Tickets are on sale now. For tickets or info, visit BigDaddyWeave.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning for day 2, second day in a row. He's almost. We're gonna make you a guest host one day. We're gonna just
there you go.
Don Well will host the show, but Don Well back with us today. This time wearing when he's not, because we have him in for Bitter Lake, we have him in for the Alzheimer's, we have him in for American Legion, we have you in for
drivers,
the veterans drivers. Looks like I'm missing one in there, and of course. Also the zoo here, which is what we're going to focus on today, friends of the Spring River Zoo, which like we were kind of saying here in the preview, it's with the flooding, with a lot of the major renovation work that has to be done out there, or cleanup work, whatever you want to call that. It has kind of put a back burner on a lot of the, like what the friends of the zoo do, and because like the city, they're making the funding, this, that, but anything extra, any like the butterfly gardens, any of the activities and things that go on at the zoo, that's really the friends of the zoo that kind of fund it,
we try
foster it, keep it together. And so we want to get back to there where the zoo is more than just a place housing animals. We want to get back to where people are coming, they're having various, educational and fun events and things out at the zoo. And all that. So, but to do that, we got to get the band back together.
That's right. Yeah, we got to go find all of that band.
Yeah,
we lost a few animals and lost a lot of property stuff. And
sure,
it got to be rebuilt and redone.
Does the Friends of the Zoo work like the Friends of the Bitter Lake, where they do actual service projects and things out of the zoo too, or is it more about the funding and generating?
Mostly, it's the funding, but we could do the projects. However, recently, the last couple of years, that hasn't come to fruition.
Gotcha.
It's too bad. I think we could do a lot more.
Well, it's one of these. And this is where the zoo falls into one of these things that, yes, it's a city funded thing, and we want we want the best amenities in town.
Right.
Or, when you live in a community, you want the best things and all. Everyone does. That's kind of what
Sure.
it is. But and understandably, the city has priorities that are higher and lesser priorities. And when you have a flood and things that are going on here, things that are more integrated in the actual day-to-day lives and that impact, correcting that takes a priority to things like
It
this.
does. And the people have to come first.
And so that being said, I mean, and then don't get me wrong, the city's not ignoring the zoo. They just can't throw as much money into it because the needs are other places. I mean, this is just simple math, folks. You do that and look, and you can all see this. That being said, that now more than ever, that's when things that you are passionate about, things that you want to make sure thrive and flourish in your community, if you want to make sure those things continue, now more than ever, you need to take a more active role in those organizations to make those things happen. And Zoo's one of them.
Friend of the Zoo is one of those groups.
If you want us to see the zoo thrive and expand and turn into, kind of what the official vision was, where it's, this learning center for animals and providing a home for endangered or animals that are rescued or type things, keeping that mission going, and turning into more like a, I don't know if it's zoological park or whatever, but more of a sciencey place than a circus-like place, I guess you could say, which is not even right either, but you know what I mean. The way to keep that thing going and to take it to the next level, it's going to have to take the people, being a friend, being a part of it. The city, I mean, sure, we're going to keep fighting and keep funding, and but at the end of the day, there's bigger fish to fry right now.
Right now, there is. Yeah, we got to get the city back in shape.
Yeah.
But keep that in mind. Let's keep that in your head.
Yeah.
That we come out and join us.
And that's the kind of thing. If you want to see this stuff happening, all right, let's get our
join
friends
back
and let's get some muscle behind that. We can start generating money, generating publicity, generating all the support we need to improve and enhance the zoo.
Yep. That's what we need to do. That's what the Friends are all about.
Yeah.
Any kind of Friends group is there to support whatever entity they're backing.
Absolutely.
Bitter Lake, the Friends of Bitter Lake, they support Bitter Lake.
Sure.
Friends of the Zoo, we support the zoo. And the more we can get in there and help, the better that zoo is going to be.
It's such a beautiful piece of property out there. We have such a blessing, and there's some really good, and the animals and things. And prior to the floods, we were really making some progress and doing some stuff. And we did. We took a back seat. That the lake out, the pond out there, and all that. They took some major damage. Some of those pens and some, like you said, it's really, really kind of turned the tables back on time a little bit on the zoo here.
Spring River just kind of really went to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that Spring River has ever been that full before.
Well, that's that that was the one place we have water in town, and that's where it all
every bit of it went right there.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's the blessing and the curse, a beautiful area, but when extreme weather hits, it's probably the epicenter of the damage and things like that.
They had all kinds of nice walls along that river corridor to keep the water where it's supposed to be, and it just washed everything out.
Sure.
Just right over the top. Went and wiped out those animals, the mules and stuff.
This is when you see the power of water.
Yeah.
Lest we forget
Grand Canyon. We're on the same track there.
Yeah. But they just got a little reminder there.
That's right.
Forget. But it's just so. This is what. So I know we're kind of preaching the same song here, but we really want to, folks. If you keep, because I know I've heard people, man, I want to do. Now's the time to stop saying, man, I wish, and saying, man, what can I do to help?
That's right.
And
come join us.
Yeah. So do you guys have are you back on a monthly meeting schedule or anything like that right now? Or
we are. Let me see if I've got. I don't know. We keep meeting at different. Mostly it's a lunchtime meeting.
Sure. It's probably a small enough group. It's like, everybody's schedule work?
We got maybe half a dozen people that show up.
Everyone just gets in a text group and says, yeah, this Thursday works.
Yeah,
let's meet at the restaurant.
Do it. Yep. So I know we've got a meeting, and I don't see it on, We should have one coming up, but I don't see it on my list.
Well, for in the meantime, what I probably suggest is there is a Facebook page, Friends of the Spring River Zoo.
Yes.
Reach out through that. Send a message or anything if you'd like to get more involved or have questions, or really just, if you want to know more about what the Friends do, and then see if that's something that you'd like to be a part of, and then we'll send you an invite to the next meeting and all that good stuff.
Call me or send me a text with your number and who you are, and we'll see what we can do about getting you included.
Yeah. And I'd say go on down to the zoo, but I don't think there's Friends there on a regular basis. Usually just the city employees and things.
Yes,
there. Now, don't get me wrong. You go down there and ask them; they'll put you in touch with the Friends. Most of them are pretty well versed on who the Friends are.
Yes. Yeah, they are.
And so they can get you in touch with them, but they probably couldn't answer many of your questions directly because their day job is a little different, right? I mean, they certainly run the programs and things, but when it comes to Friends business, they're more about zoo business than what the Friends are doing to help the zoo business.
Right.
That makes sense. They got their own jobs to worry about right now.
They do, very much so.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're working very, very hard.
Sure. It's not only educators; they're also, the
maintenance,
caretakers, maintenance, those animals, the property. They're a little bit janitor, a little bit nurse, a little bit.
There you go.
A little bit just pet owner. A little bit of everything.
There you go, pet owner. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Got to take care of those pets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they got to multitask.
Yeah.
But now kind of give as far as like the Friends here, I'm like, what's some of the like I know you guys are, what's some of the goals and things that you guys are trying to work on now for obviously we need volunteers, but as far as, is there any tasks or any projects that are kind of taking priority that are like, hey, once we got a group, these are the things we need to address first?
One of them we'd like to address. These are things we would like to address. One of them is the railroad.
Okay.
They need new tracks.
Okay.
The other one is the bear enclosure.
Okay.
We'd like to.
Is it?
That thing is antiquated. It's the bears need, like the lion.
Gotcha. It needs upgrade.
We need
but still structurally sound. It's not.
Yeah, we need a major upgrade.
But
on
they
that.
need an environment that's more suited to their habitats.
Correct.
Their needs and things like that.
Correct.
And
you never know when there's going to be another bear come out of the mountains.
Sure.
With burned paws and whatnot.
It's probably more common than you think.
That's right. And that's where those came from.
Yeah. Every wildfire season, you probably get a few critters that come down or get rescued off the mountain that we got to look after. Or if they go to Desert Willow, and then once they get healed up there, sometimes we're the only other place to bring them. So
that's right. That's right.
But Friends do get involved in that kind of stuff too.
That's right.
So if you love animals and love, if you just love animals and love all that stuff, I guarantee you're going to have more than enough exposure to animals as a friend of the zoo here. Yep. Absolutely. Whether it's
help us out.
Yeah, they're not going to throw you in the bear pen, unless you. But some of the other stuff you might get to do.
I don't know. That might be fun. See how fast you can run.
Right. I was saying, maybe I'll start with the little marsupials or something.
There you go. There you go.
Anything small with a pouch that I can just hang out with.
Well, the lemurs are fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're entertaining. See,
Yeah.
something more pet-like or more want to hug you kind of thing than something that wants to make you lunch.
Yeah. Well, as long as you got a banana or some nuts or something, the lemurs will just love you to death.
Oh, I imagine you'll be their best friend.
You got it.
But the Friends do get to kind of kind of like Friends of Bitter, like you do get a behind the scenes of the zoo here
You do.
At Spring River Zoo. So there are perks to being a friend. Yes, we're going to work your tail off, and we're hoping to we're doing events like Brew at the Zoo and stuff like that every year, and making back to the traditions that we all know the zoo for. We want to get that back to and add to and improve upon. And if you want to see that happen, the best way to do that is come and be a friend of the Spring River.
That's right.
So that's going to be because once we get the strength there, then we can start being like water and moving dirt around and moving it to where we want it to be.
There you go.
And like I said, traditions, like you said, that those train tracks, that the bear pen. I mean, the train is just downright iconic at this point. You cannot talk about the zoo without talking about that train track, and obviously the merry-go-round, which everything I've heard, that relatively unscathed with all of this.
Yeah, I think it needs a little maintenance update, but
in the simplest, because the mechanics of that thing is so rudimentary, it's probably your friend in an environment like
there
this.
You go.
Where
yeah.
there's like, you want to know how many electronics are involved? I mean, it's all mechanical. It's all,
everything
it's
is
so ancient and historic and iconic that it literally, it's a lot of grease and a lot of wrench turning.
There you go. Yeah, they had to replace a gear a couple of years ago, but
yeah, exactly.
that was practically
lights,
nothing.
LEDs, none of that stuff. So really, imagine, short of keeping it from rusting and keeping it lubed back up, it's probably run like a champ. As long as it doesn't seize up the parts, that thing will keep going.
Forever.
So a blessing in disguise there, perhaps, on that one with the flooding. But get involved so we can get back to that. And so your kids and your families, every week can go ride the train every Saturday or go get on the merry-go-round and go walk the zoo and see all the cool animals. We want to get back to that again.
Yep.
So, or, just even if you're just Sunday afternoon picnicking at the park there in front of the zoo and watch.
There you go.
Hope the peacock doesn't steal your sandwiches.
It might.
Hey,
It might.
It does rule that roost.
That's right.
But that's becoming a friend will get us back to doing all that and more, and
that's
turning
right.
it to and really doing like the stuff that they want to do, like that bear pen and stuff, turning it into where not only are we rescuing these animals, but places where we can study them and maybe give education, and kind of like the biopark in Albuquerque, what they do with some of their exhibits and things,
right?
Where we turn our zoo into something like that. So, but to get there,
nice.
We need more friends to get involved.
Yeah, on a smaller scale than Albuquerque, of
obviously,
course,
yes, but that appearance, that trait, the way they're going with it, the
right?
Biopark and kind of showing it, but to get there, we got to get more people involved and do all that kind of stuff. So please reach out. Please, friends of the Spring River Zoo is probably best to search on Facebook or whatever there,
right?
And then you can of course reach out to Don. Do you want to give out your phone number?
575-495-3325. I think everybody in Roswell has probably got that now.
And if you also have any questions about the Alzheimer's Association or American Legion or the Veterans Transport or Friends of Bitter Lake, did I get all of them?
That's close enough.
Close enough. And the zoo, of course. Don can help you out with any of those as well.
Yeah, just give me a call and we'll see what we can work out.
Absolutely. But that's kind of great too, because, all great organizations all need help. And who knows, maybe somewhere along the line we can have this multi-thing event where, all, friends of the zoo and the Bitter Lake, and who knows, maybe it's a multi-thing event.
We have worked together in the past.
Sure.
Legion, Zoo, and Bitter Lake have all been together at places.
In one shape or form, yeah, absolutely,
yeah. Even Alzheimer's, Legion has supported Alzheimer's
absolutely
quite a bit. So
it's all, everybody.
It all comes together. And right now we're trying to get the zoo going.
And this is something, and folks, if you are one of those folks that want to see that back, that quite frankly you've been saying, where's the zoo? Why can't it? Roll up your sleeves, get involved. It's your community. You want it great? Come help us make it great.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you do it.
Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to cover that we just spaced on?
No, not right now. As soon as I get more information on when we're going to meet, we're trying to get a big members meeting, not just the board, but all members to come together.
And that's another way too, is become a member. Like if you don't necessarily want to be serving on the board or anything like that,
right?
Becoming a member of the Friends of Bitter, like your annual dues covers the projects, and because all that money goes back into the work of the zoo, of the Friends of the Zoo here.
That's where it'll go.
So that's another way to support financially. But if you want to see even more, even want to help make decisions and be a part of the process of what the future of the zoo looks like, then I invite you to get more active.
There you go. Yeah, but give me a call when you get it if you need to, and we'll work out when we're going to meet and where we're going to meet and get it going.
That's right.
So
very good. If we get enough people, we'll have to meet at the zoo where all the open areas.
There you go. Well, that was our thought for us, is to meet out on in the park area.
Yeah,
there at the zoo.
Yeah, what better place?
Why not?
Yeah, weather's nice. Everyone loves it out there.
And then take a walk through the zoo and say hi.
See what you're protecting and what you're enhancing and making better. You're rehabbing. Whatever word's appropriate to that particular part of the zoo at that particular time.
There you go.
But good deal. Well, Don, as always, appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll got on to your next 12 appointments here. So
yeah, I'll be back next month again.
The busiest retired man in all of southeast New Mexico is probably Don Weld right here. So.
I don't know about that, but I try to keep busy. So.
Like if there was a retired person pageant, and you would be a contestant for sure.
Yeah.
Like who's busiest retired person pageant, you'd be a finalist in that one.
Yeah.
You might be wearing the crown at the end. You got a chance. If I'm a bet man.
There you go.
Very good. Well, Don, as always, appreciate it. We'll see you here next time, and anything else we can do, let us know.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. You. It is 8:41. Let's pause for news, Chaffetz County sports, Red Apple, and a few ads as well. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winter.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The city of Roswell is seeking residents' input on the update process for the city's comprehensive master plan. A public meeting is planned for April 2nd at 5 p.m. at the Community Development Department office in the SunWest Center. It's the first in a series of public meetings that will be held as part of the expected year-long process to develop a revised master plan. You'll get an introduction of the project team on ideas to improve the city and move the community forward. Roswell's master plan has not been updated since 2016. And the Roswell Animal Services Facility is resuming normal operations on Friday. At that time, the facility at 705 East McGaffey Street will resume accepting animals, facilitating adoptions, and having animal control officers respond to all calls for service. The facility is reopening after it was closed March 7th to accommodate for a deep cleaning to clear the facility of the impact of canine distemper that had been brought into the facility. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chaffetz County Sports Report. Hey, the all-state selections are out for basketball. The just completed basketball season was pretty quick for the New Mexico High School Coaches Association, and we appreciate it. Class 5A, congratulations to Roswell's Rylan Saraceno. He was picked second team all-state. Also from Dexter in Class 3A, CJ Granados, only a sophomore, picked honorable mention. Javon Aguiar from Hagerman picked honorable mention for Class 2A. For the girls' side, Melody Durant, speaking of youngsters from Dexter, as an 8th grader, she was picked honorable mention for Class 3A. And finally, from Gateway Christian, honorable mention selection, which is a big deal. If you're on all-state honorable mention, that is a big deal. Alyssa was selected for that in Class 1A. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a low-pressure system drifting in from the desert southwest, and that might bring us a few showers today. Afternoon high in the mid-70s. Our rain chances go up a little bit by midday and afternoon. A few showers overnight will drop into the upper 40s, and then we're back to sunshine on Friday, upper 80s, and then Saturday and Sunday look windy and sunny, highs in the 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
U.S. stocks finished lower yesterday as pressure mounted in terms of tariffs. President Trump and the White House unveiled details on new levies for imports for automobiles shipped to the United States. In response, automakers GM, Ford, and Stellantis all saw their share price drop, and in general, trade and the impact that tariffs could have in terms of consumer spending and inflation both have been points of concern for the market in recent weeks. Tech among the biggest losers for the session yesterday. The tech-heavy NASDAQ composite shed over 2%. NVIDIA, the AI darling chip maker, sold off in a big way. Online shopping giant Amazon also slumped, as did Google parent Alphabet. E-vehicle leader Tesla continues to have a rough go of it, and the company saw its share price dip for the session. In terms of economic data, we mentioned the looming impact of tariffs coming April 2nd, and again, things like importing cars. Well, front-loading ahead of those looming tariffs gave a boost to U.S. durable goods orders in February as that category rose 0.9%. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
This is Judge Janine Pirro with an important message. A mom and her son were being followed by a man in a parking lot. As he approached their car, she pulled out her Byrna launcher, and the sight of it was enough to make him flee. Byrna gives you the power to protect your family without lethal force. No permits, no background checks, just peace of mind. Visit Byrna.com and use code Janine for 10% off. Remember, Byrna isn't legal in New York City or Yonkers. Stay safe, stay prepared.
Where do you find meaning in your life? King Solomon started out seeking wisdom from God, a great place to start. Unfortunately, instead of continuing to use his God-given wisdom, he tried to use his own. He tried to gain all intellectual knowledge, but that didn't satisfy him. He tried to find happiness in physical relationships, but this too left him unsatisfied. He tried gaining all wealth and power, but there was no joy in that either. At the end of his life, he wrote that it was all vanity. Have you ever heard someone say, "God wants me to be happy?" as they're trying to justify a choice they are making that goes against what God wants for them? God cares much more about your holiness than your happiness. Solomon learned that the hard way. Unfortunately, many times we have to learn that the hard way too. True peace, true joy, true meaning only comes from God. As Solomon said at the end of his life, it all comes down to this: fear God and keep his commandments. That's what gives our life real meaning.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Hey, Roswell, need a truck? You're in luck. Now is your time to buy a new Ford truck for a lot less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. For a limited time, get massive discounts on every new Ford and quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, plus 0% APR for 72 months and no payments for 90 days. Attention business owners, Roswell Ford has a great selection of commercial vehicles, so we're taking care of business. Big trucks, small trucks, work trucks, we've got them all for a lot less. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your loan or lease, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive finance team will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Plus, Roswell Ford offers mobile services, so our certified technicians will come to you, regardless of where you're at, for oil changes, tire rotation, batteries, recalls, and more. Contact us for details. Massive savings and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR is 13.89 per thousand finance. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinanced and loan subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
Get a seamless built-in look for your kitchen with a KitchenAid flush design dishwasher. With a panel-ready door and flush installation, this dishwasher fits evenly with countertops and cabinetry when installed in a standard cabinet depth of 24 inches. Shop KitchenAid flush design dishwashers at Bush Appliance in Roswell. From cabinets to appliances to installation, one call does it all. Bush Appliance, 111 West Country Club in Roswell.
For one night only, it's the Let It Begin Tour with Big Daddy Weave. Along with Ben Fuller and Megan Woods.
The truth is I am my father's child.
The Let It Begin Tour with Big Daddy Weave, Ben Fuller, and Megan Woods. Friday, April 11th at the Walter Giro Performing Arts Center in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Tickets are on sale now. For tickets or info, visit BigDaddyWeave.com.
Check out some of the savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. 24 packs of Ozarka Spring Water are $3.98 each, and cans of Food Club Chunk White Chicken Breast and Water are 2 for $5. In produce, 6-ounce tubs of blackberries, blueberries, or raspberries are 2 for $5, and heads of iceberg lettuce are 99 cents each. In the meat department, family packs of choice boneless beef arm roasts are $4.99 a pound, and family packs of split fryer breasts are $1.69 a pound. These are just some of the bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
This is the time of year we can get all 4 seasons in just one day. Hi, this is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. 1 minute you're sweating in the sun, and the next minute you've got slush in your shoes. But that's winter in Roswell, and after 127 years, we're starting to get used to it. It's too early to plant very much, but you can fertilize pecan trees, spray for dandelions, order your bees, and pick up a new seed catalog. So come see us at Roswell Seed. Like Jim Gill would say, enjoy the warm days, but don't go far from the fire.
Hi everyone, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. I'm the 3rd generation in this legacy that began with hard work and bold dreams. From Grandpa's footprints in the concrete to floor tiles laid in the 50s by my dad Bill. Every detail of this building is a testament to our pride in providing quality furniture and service to you. On your quest for making your home beautiful and comfortable, Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Get ready, Artesia. The main event car show and cruise is rolling into town Friday, March 28th and Saturday, March 29th, 2025. Friday night, we're kicking things off at 6 p.m. with the Main Street Cruise. Watch as classic cars, hot rods, and muscle cars take over Main Street, cruising by the decade. It's a moving history lesson with a whole lot more horsepower. Then Saturday from 9 to 3, downtown Artesia transforms into the ultimate car lover's paradise. Cars, trucks, motorcycles, bikes, even tractors. It's free family fun with music, friendly competition, and more. Want in on the action? Register your ride at artesiachamber.com or stop by 107 North 1st Street in Artesia. The main event car show and cruise, March 28th and 29th in downtown Artesia. Brought to you by the Artesia Car Enthusiasts, Artesia Chamber, and Artesia Main Street. Paid for by Artesia Lodging Tax.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing on 8:52. Got a few minutes here to chit-chat before we get to news here at the top of the hour. Do want to remind you, got some great stuff happening this weekend. Lots of things going on. Of course, tomorrow night and then Saturday night and Sunday, Roswell Community Theater's opening weekend for the Explorers Club play will be tomorrow night. 7:30, and then again 7:30 Saturday, and then at 2 or 2:30. I can always remember that. I think it's 2 on Sunday at the Community Theater, and then they'll do it the next weekend, same Friday, Saturday evening performances, and the Sunday matinee. Get your tickets right now. Go to roswelltheater.com. Spell theater like live theater, Theatre. However, I think if you spell it like movie theater, which is the eater, it'll get you there too. But if you want to be, theatrical, so RE. But anyway, you'll go there. You'll find a link to buy the tickets right there for any of the shows. I do recommend, if you're very limited on what windows you can go see the play, get your tickets sooner rather than later, because especially after opening weekend, that first weekend, generally the second weekend fills up pretty. People word of mouth. I got last chance. Things happen. And so they get busier as the thing. So get your tickets now. However, if you space out, like you come out tomorrow night, like, I forgot to get, no problem. You can get tickets right at the door. Hopefully. Most of the time, they've always got you. They'll be, every once in a while, though, they do fill up fast. But if you do space, don't hesitate. Head on down to the box office there at the Community Theater, which is in the Plains Park Shopping Center. For folks that, I'm going to pull the Funny Farm move from the movie. You go where the old Park Twin Theater used to be. Now, if people have been here a while, know exactly what I'm talking about. It's where the old Alco used to, right by the old Alco. Yeah, if people still, none of that would help someone who's new to this area or haven't been here a minute. But if you know where is it Icon or Apex? I can't remember, the movie theater there in the Plains Park Shopping Center, right kind of behind it in the corner there, right across from the Dollar General there on, was that Hobbs, I think? You'll find the Community Theater, and it's right there. Definitely, if you've never been there for a play, go see one this weekend. They are so great at what they do, and it's cool because it's the community. You literally go up there and you're like, there's friends, people you may know from other circles like your church or some civic organization or maybe the neighborhood, and you're like, I didn't know look at them, they're out here doing it. And it's just so cool to see that when you get surprised. And they do an amazing job. And this one sounds like it's going to be a fun adventure. And fun for the whole family. We had talked to, earlier in the week, we talked to some of the cast of the Explorers Club. And this one's going to be a fun one. Bring the whole family. Kids will love it. Mom, dad, everybody. It's just going to be a fun little adventure comedy, musical. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, but anyway, get your tickets, roswelltheater.com. Also happening on Saturday is the Veterans Symposium Together with Veterans, the Chaves County Health Council. Their annual Veterans Symposium is this Saturday. It's going to be out at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. I think the flyers and everything say everything gets underway at 10, but I believe they'll start some of the, I believe at 9 a.m. they're going to be doing taxes. So if you need your taxes done still and you're a veteran, they'll go do your taxes for free down there. And that's at Hobson Hall on the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. And I believe that starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And then kind of the other parts of the symposium will get underway at 10. That goes until 2 o'clock. And then I also want to put on your radar at 6 o'clock Saturday evening, I would also like to invite folks to head on over to American Legion Post 28, their lodge there on Montana. And if you go to their post at 6 o'clock, they're going to be doing their annual Vietnam Veterans ceremony. And at the ceremony, they honor the Vietnam veterans that we lost here in Chaves County. And I'm sorry, they've told me the number. I think it's somewhere around, I think it's like 18 or 22. I don't remember the exact number, but we have that number of veterans that they honor. They're going to be, talking the names. And so we would love to invite the public to come out to Post 28, 6 p.m. on Saturday for their Vietnam Veterans ceremony. Also, if there's family members, if there's family of our Vietnam veterans and lost, please, they would love to have you at the event as well. If you're able to and would like to, they would love to come and help honor you and talk with you and share your experiences. I get it. Sometimes those things aren't something you choose to want to talk to people about. But if you have that in your hearts, if any of the families listening, I imagine there's still some family of those veterans that still call Roswell, or at least this part of Southeast New Mexico, home. So, but that's going to be 6 p.m. on Saturday at American Legion Post 28 there on Montana. There, come out 6 p.m. for that ceremony, and I think they'll have refreshments and things like that too. So come on out. And if you've never been there, go hang out, meet some good people. So good fun stuff. A couple other things I want to put on your radar. Vitalant. I've got my list of blood drives for the month of April here. And so if you want to start booking some, if you're due to donate, like if you're on the regular cycle there, and because I think it's every 30 days, or I don't remember the number, but whatever it is that you're allowed to donate again. If you're in that window where you're coming up on ability to donate again, or if you've never done it before, then come on and come out to one of these blood drives here in April at Vitalant. Their first blood drive for the month of April, they're actually going to have two different locations going on Wednesday, April 2nd. They're going to be at the New Mexico Military Institute in the VMV building in the ballroom there, doing blood drives from 11 to 4 on April 2nd. And then also that same day, they're going to have the Blood Mobile at Pecos Valley Production there on Country Club in the medical district there from 11 a.m. to 2:30 on April 2nd. You can call Vitalant at 575-625-9743. You can schedule an appointment for those dates or any of their other dates on the during the month. As the month goes, I'm not going to be like, well, come on out to Roswell on April the 29th. They're going to be at Pioneer Bank. Well, as we get a little closer to that event, we'll tell you more about that one. But the ones coming up here next week in April, right here, will be on the 2nd there at NIMI from 11 to 4. And then again, also concurrently at Pecos Valley Production from 11 to 2:30. There'll also be on Thursday, the 3rd, the next day, they're going to be at New Mexico Military Institute in the VMV building for day 2 of a blood drive, same time, 11 to 4. So if you can't get out to NIMI on the 2nd, they'll be doing it on the 3rd as well, too, there. So plenty of opportunities there. Again, if you can't make those but want to get on the list or schedule to donate blood, reach out, call Vitalant today, 575-623-9743. You can also, it can do a lot of your pre-screening stuff through their website and everything else. So basically, if your time is limited, you can just kind of roll up to the blood drive event. They kind of check you off, make sure, because they got preliminary questions. There's certain qualifiers and non-qualifiers, and those change. So just because you were told no in the past, depending on the reason, you may be able to now. So talk to them about that. Anyway, you can do a lot of that prerequisite stuff online or in advance. So literally you roll in the day that you go to donate blood, roll in, check in, roll up your sleeve, go to town and go through the process and be on your way. So, but anyway, definitely check that out. All right. It is 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Attorney General Bondi and FBI Director Patel were on hand this morning's arrest of a 24-year-old illegal alien, allegedly a top lieutenant in the violent MS-13 gang. The man was taken into custody in Woodbridge, Virginia, not far from Washington. Virginia's Governor Glenn Youngkin witnessed the takedown as well. An appeals court is upholding a judge's order requiring the Trump administration to rehire thousands of federal workers.
The government argued that judges can't micromanage federal worker policies, but a split Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals panel turned back the emergency motion. At issue was a lower court judge's order requiring the Trump administration to rehire thousands of probationary workers who were let go in mass firings. The judge found legal problems with the way the firings were carried out. Greg Clugston, Washington.
President Trump says he has a formula for boosting American manufacturing and jobs. A 25% tariff on vehicles and car parts coming into the U.S. Those new tariffs due to take effect next week. Palestinians have chanted against Hamas during anti-war demonstrations in the Gaza Strip, a rare show of public anger against the terrorist group that has long repressed dissent. Hamas is weakened, but it still rules the territory 17 months into the war with Israel. The American economy expanded, a healthy 2.4% annual pace October through December, boosted by a year-end surge in consumer spending. That's according to the Department of Commerce, which is upping its previous estimate of economic growth. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff says North Korea has dispatched roughly 3,000 troops to Russia in the first 2 months of the year. Those troops deployed to Ukraine. On Wall Street this morning, stocks are in the red, the Dow down 187. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
An investigation is underway into a deadly accident beneath the waves in Egypt.
Officials say 6 people died and 9 were injured when a tourist submarine sank off the Egyptian coast. The submarine was carrying 45 passengers, all of them Russian. Emergency crews rescued 29 people off one of the beaches in the tourist promenade area in the Red Sea resort of Hurghada. The Russian consulate says those who were injured are in stable condition. The submarine was out on a regular tour to view coral reefs when it sank about a half a mile from shore. It's not known what caused it to sink. I'm Mike Hemp.
Police have unleashed pepper spray, rubber bullets, and water cannon against protesters in Turkey's capital, potentially reigniting tensions after 2 days of relative calm in the country's biggest anti-government protests in over a decade. News and analysis, townhall.com. Remember Napster? It's still around in a different form than when it began. It's just been sold for $207 million.
The file-sharing app became famous 25 years ago for allowing users to swap music files free of charge, but was shut down by lawsuits. In 2016, Napster became a music streaming service with licenses to stream millions of tracks. Then on Tuesday, it was acquired by 3D tech company Infinite Reality. Plans to use Napster to create virtual 3D spaces that allow music fans to enjoy concerts or listening parties together and allow musicians and music labels to sell merchandise. Tasha Stevens reporting.
The Republican chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Roger Wicker, says he'd like the Pentagon's Inspector General to investigate how a journalist was mistakenly added to a group chat. The chat concerned military strikes in Yemen. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Yes.
It's
the penultimate day of your week.
You want it to be Friday, but it just ain't.
It sniffs of Friday, but it's not full-bodied Friday.
Yeah.
So I got to bring something up. I came across a story. It's off-putting to me that someone would want this.
Okay.
And I'm curious to see how you feel about this.
All
okay?
right.
So Suzanne Summers.
Yes.
Famed actress.
Chrissy Snow.
Yes, yes, the Thigh Master, of course, was her brainchild. I don't know if it was her brainchild. She was a big endorser there.
She also did that TV show with Patrick Duffy.
Step by Step.
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, she passed away from breast cancer back in October of 2023.
Okay.
Well, she's back.
Oh, did they do a VR?
So
Suzanne Summers?
Apparently, Suzanne's husband, Alan Hamill, worked with a company called Realbotics to create a digital twin of Suzanne. It's an AI robot.
Like for his own personal...
I don't know.
Whoa.
So it mimics both her voice and speech patterns using recordings and footage of her. It also has many of her memories and can answer questions. Like it was asked about a specific time with Hamill, she talked about a cooking segment that they were both on and a blender mishap or something. So apparently she has Suzanne's memories in this. I say she, but they have them in this robot.
Yeah, yeah, that seems very off-putting.
It's very off-putting.
It's morbid.
Can I tell you how it gets weirder?
Sure.
Okay, so the last part of the story says the husband says he has a long-range plan to get permission to get a John Ritter version made.
Oh no!
To do some additional episodes of Three's Company.
Well, guess what's going to happen? What's her name still alive?
Joyce DeWitt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got to act with robots, or we going to
don't know.
Wait till she passes before we can. Hey, we can bring Don Knotts in now.
I'm pretty sure that
Mr. Roper can come on.
I'm pretty sure that when his wife passed,
Mr.
his brain went with him because he's gone. I mean, he's got to be. You got to be crazy to want an AI robot of your wife.
Yeah, all this is seven. Yeah, this is.
There's no
mental health.
soul in there.
Yeah, this feels weird.
It's wrong.
You know what this I put on the same par as, and there's going to be a few people that are going to think, but Crystal's here, so this fits right in it.
Okay.
Those folks that actually have like past pets taxidermied, and like they're in the house, that is a next level creepy. I'm sorry. I love my pets. My dogs I've had, I would love them. I do not want a taxidermy version of my dog from a kid sitting in the corner of my room, or even from my dog from no former pet of mine do I want it stuffed in my living room or anywhere in my home. This equates to that level of creepy.
I do want the taxidermied golden retriever they used on Scrubs, Rowdy. I'd love to have him. But that being said, what's creepier than that is the ones who take the DNA of their dogs or cats and have them cloned.
Yeah, that's rich people creepy.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, speaking of DNA, did you hear about 23andMe?
I heard they're going bankrupt.
They're going bankrupt, and people are freaking out about all their DNA being like available.
To burst your little bubbles, people. That stuff's been available for a long Dang.
Oh no, we're talking about way more sensitive data though, like nationalities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
again, a lot of that's been available for a long.
That's why I don't use.
I will tell you this: any person that served in the United States military in the last 30 years, they got all that information on you.
That's true.
Guarantee it.
Let's
That
just
cuts out a third of the population right there. Probably,
let's just hope Cologuard doesn't go out of business. They have a lot more crap on people.
Well, let's all use logic for just half a second here.
Okay.
Anytime you put your personal information in any kind of digital form, there is a risk of someone finding out about it. I don't care who claims to be the most securest, the Fort Knoxiest of whatever it is out there. There's always, oh yeah, but. Always. Every single time. All you Ashley Madison people thought you had it good until you didn't, did you? It happens every time.
Yep.
It's just, could it be 5 years from now? Could it be 10 years from now? You buy anything at Target, every 5 years, someone's stealing your stuff there. You know, I mean, it's just the world we live in.
Yeah.
So you're going to
And
put
these
it
are the
out
hands
there,
we're given.
it will get exposed at some point. It's kind of like those people, like when they did those, like it seems like there's been a lull in these lately, but there was like a whole like face generator thing and people put their stupid face in the, here's what you look like when you're 80. And then there's people going, don't do that. Then the government knows what your face looks like. And I'm like, do you have a driver's license?
Yeah.
Boob. These people say this all the time. So the people that are worried, it's going to happen anyway. If you spit into a cup or whatever that little tube is, at some point people are going to know about it. You gave that up when you spit in the cup so you could find out if Uncle Charlie's your brother or not. Or how many sisters or brothers you found out you all of a sudden
It
had.
does
You
seem
know what
like
I mean?
it really did seem like the as seen on TV paternity test. Like if you really think
Well,
about
it's
it.
not. I mean, it's legit as far as the information.
Sure.
But if you were expecting like privacy forever, you're sadly naive. We just live in a world where if it can be broken into, it will be broken into.
Sure.
So. Exactly. You want privacy? Don't tell no one. Don't say nothing. Don't write it down. Don't do anything. Just keep in your head and hope no one finds a machine that can suck your thoughts out of your head. Which will probably be coming.
Oh, that's 2026. Yeah, it's in development currently. Right after they mastered the AI dead robot,
But
dead
yes,
celebrity robot.
any person that creates a robotic version of their dead spouse is creepy. I understand, and you're dealing with grieving in the wrong way. I suggest other ways.
You know what I liken it to?
Yeah.
Do you remember a few years back when Kanye West had an AI generated likeness of Robert Kardashian made up for Kim for like her birthday or something to like tell her how proud he is of her or would have been of her?
Yeah, I guess this when you have a lot of money, this is the thing.
This is just what you do.
These are, we go to the Hallmark aisle at the drugstore. They go buy these things.
Yep.
Right.
Spend it on AI.
Right.
Exactly.
Amazon. I'm barely making Temu money. I'm barely pulling in Sheen Shake.
I got to ask a question because I see advertisements on Twitter or X all the time for Temu products. But it's never the stuff people actually buy from Temu.
Right.
It's big ticket items like a camper or a tent or a living room set. It's like, and I'm like, are there people actually buying these things on Temu? Do any of them learn the lesson that every time I see someone buy a chair or a couch or anything from Temu, it's always built for your children.
Right. Most of the time I've seen them done is like on YouTube.
Yeah.
But they have up to and including you can buy a prefabricated home.
I know, and that's why I'm like, outside of China, are anybody buying these things? Like if someone got a Temu house in the United States,
I would imagine there's got to be at least one.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
I will. You know
Can
what?
we house more than a dog or two from the Humane Society?
I'll do a little research and I'll see what I can find for you.
Is it a Barbie dream house?
It's insulated, but you're not going to like what it's insulated with.
Right. I'm trying to wrap my head.
I'm going to pay for this by
advertisements.
Googling this too because I'm going to get advertisements for this.
Well, that that door's been cracked open a long time
It
ago.
has.
The weird level of what you see on your thing is probably you and Thomas Beard. That man's got more. Just like I guarantee, if you go through Thomas Beard's suggested list, he's going to have a crystal ball on there.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have
Oh yeah, I would
some
love
kind of chicken suit.
I would love just 20 minutes in Thomas's wish list just to see what's going on.
Some obscure amp piece.
That's going to tell us more than any like therapist could or like Rorschach test or anything.
Listerine strips.
Looking around in his wish list, what makes Thomas tick?
I know. He's going to have the most unique one. So anyway, we do
Is this
need
an Easter Island torchlighter?
Yeah. Like literally, I'll go to his house and then for a remote, he'll have bags of like alien heads he just bought on Amazon for no reason. You know, yeah, we can use them a remote for what? To fill the landfill. Sorry, that's what I thought you should do it. But anyway. All right, let's get the hour going. Or Thomas gets mad and dumps a bunch of work on me. Dumping on. Although I owe him a lot more than he owes me on that. Anyway, let me give you the rundown. We'll get you update with the weather and all that here in just a bit. And then Crystal Noble will join us here now officially from the Humane Society, give us an update there. I know I just saw a notice from the city that they reopened the animal shelter there. I just saw a notice from the city yesterday that came in my email that I guess they're either about to reopen or are reopening.
Tomorrow is what I understand.
Gotcha. Very good. I just got a thing in my email yesterday afternoon before I left work saying that. So
Yeah, I just got a memo yesterday. So.
yeah. So, but anyway, although separate thing but still connected. But we'll get the update and all that from Crystal here in just a bit. Also, we'll have news and local variety. We'll try to work in sports and Hannity update and all that too. But first, your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a low-pressure system drifting in from the desert southwest, and that might bring us a few showers today. Afternoon high in the mid-70s. Our rain chances go up a little bit by midday and afternoon. A few showers overnight will drop into the upper 40s, and then we're back to sunshine on Friday, upper 80s, and then Saturday and Sunday look windy and sunny, highs in the 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, didn't refresh my weather. Bad host. Bad host. Now there it goes. Currently 61 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 78%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Did you just remember something? Chris had a moment of, I'll find out in the commercial. Currently, we are looking at a 40% chance at some rain today. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 3 o'clock today. Partly cloudy and a high of 77. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. 20% chance at showers for tonight, mainly before 9 p.m. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 49 degrees. South winds 5 to 15. Warming back up for Friday, mostly sunny, back into the mid-80s tomorrow. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, cloudy with an overnight low of 49 degrees. Southwest winds 10 to 15 early, 5 to 10 after midnight. Saturday, partly cloudy, a little breezy, high of 83. West winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for Saturday afternoon. Sunday, mostly sunny and 81. And then Monday, when you head back to work and school, sunny, highs right around 80. All right, it is 19 minutes after 9. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then Crystal Noble with the Humane Society will join us. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand in La Pantera 106.1 FM for a special live broadcast Saturday, March 29th from 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda. Double Up Days are back, and that means your tax return can score you up to $4,000 towards your next new or pre-owned vehicle. We'll have hot dogs and ice-cold Pepsi products, and you can register to win an all-black 5-burner flat-stone gas griddle with over 700 inches of grilling space. Drawing at 1 must be present to win. See you Saturday, 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
A bedroom is a quiet escape where I go for peace and comfort. This is Melanie at Glenn's Furniture. I know how important the most private room in your home is for your life and the lives of your family. That's why we offer a selection of bedroom groups that make living easier and more comfortable. Modern designs, bold curves, and stylish fabrics elevate your bedroom space. You'll find your new set easy to sleep on and even easier to own. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Renting your tuxedo has never been easier. At Hippie Chicks, we have name brands like Michael Kors, Kenneth Cole, Couture, Allurement, and Mod, all in ultra slim and slim fit styles to flatter every shape and size. Stay cool and comfortable with Performance Stretch and Cool Max technology, because men's formal wear should feel as good as it looks. And renting is easy for prom, graduation, and your end of school parties. Just choose your style, try it on, and return it hassle-free. And right now, order before April 1st for your chance to win $100 cash. Visit Hippie Chicks today, 802 South Main in Roswell. Look for the VW
The
bug.
Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation salutes hunters in the role they play in providing critical funding for conservation. Celebrate how hunting is conservation at the Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation Annual Banquet, Saturday, April 12th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. The Roswell Banquet will take place on April 12th at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at rmef.org and go to the New Mexico Events tab. Celebrate hunters at the Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation Roswell Banquet, Saturday, April 12th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds.
Hi, I'm Chef Anthony Noble at the Valley Cafe located at 801 West Brasher in Roswell. We want to welcome you for dinner 5 to 8 p.m. weekdays, except Wednesday we close at 2 p.m. If you haven't tried our food yet, I hope you come try one of our dinner entrees, pasta, soups, salads, burgers, and sandwiches, and our weekly specials as well. Let me make you great dinner. Visit the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell.
Can't see us in person? Find our full menu on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
Hey, Roswell, need a truck? You're in luck. Now is your time to buy a new Ford truck for a lot less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. For a limited time, get massive discounts on every new Ford and quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, plus 0% APR for 72 months and no payments for 90 days. Attention business owners, Roswell Ford has a great selection of commercial vehicles, so we're taking care of business. Big trucks, small trucks, work trucks, we've got them all for a lot less. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your loan or lease, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive finance team will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Plus, Roswell Ford offers mobile services, so our certified technicians will come to you, regardless of where you're at, for oil changes, tire rotation, batteries, recalls, and more. Contact us for details. Massive savings and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR is 13.89 per thousand finance. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinance minimum. Subject to lender approval. Offers not to buy.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock. There you go, hiccup. Always when I start to talk, the hiccup comes there. But joining us in the studio this morning from the Roswell Humane Society, Crystal Noble back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. Enjoying this nice 70-ish degree day with clouds.
Yeah, this is a beautiful. You know what? This is good dog walking weather.
It is. It
Perfect
is
dog walking
great
weather.
dog walking weather.
Yeah. So if this is something, this is one of the, if you yourself can't adopt a pet or shouldn't adopt a pet, because some of you shouldn't, but love pets, here's an opportunity. Come meet and hang out with the pets. The more social interaction these pets have, the more their increases of getting adopted. You know, because they're more used to people. They're more used. So when weather is nice like today, you can take the dogs out, walk around the block, walk around the neighborhood a little bit.
Got the park right behind us.
Once it warms up and gets too warm, we can't do it because of the paw situation. But when the weather's too hot or when the weather's nasty, they have a meet and greet room where every family, when they get a new pet, get familiar with the pet. You can go and a few pets that maybe could use a little love, go take one and take it in the room and roll around the floor with it for a little bit and have some fun with it. And so, and to be honest, that's a great way to help this Humane Society, because this, at the end of the day, it goes right to what we're trying to do, is finding loving homes for these pets. And by, weirdly enough, rolling around on floors and hanging out with the pets is helping do that. So.
We do have some cats that would enjoy some floor time too.
Exactly. And I'll roll around on the floor, and cats, especially the kittens, man. You get 3 or 4 in there at a time.
We have a couple big boys.
Yeah.
And they'll be coming out of quarantine soon, Milo
Okay.
and Lee. And Milo's 18 pounds and Lee is 22 pounds.
They're biggins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like small dogs.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, we always say cats have their own personalities. Well, these two are just like a dog.
Really?
They roll over. They want their belly rubbed. They want attention.
Are they lickers?
They are.
Interesting, because some cats are lickers and some aren't. Like, I have one cat that licks me all the time. I have one cat that I can count the number of times over the years that she's licked me, and it's usually because I had something on my finger.
Yeah, they are. They are big love bugs. So if you like the big fluffy cuties, and not fluffy as in hair, but fluffy as in, Gabriel Iglesias fluffy.
Yeah. And I bet they probably they're with you 24/7. Those kind of cats. Like if you're, if once you're kind of established as their person.
Yesterday morning, I had to go into the quarantine area, and I was talking to the employee working there, and he had Lee, the big Siamese, walking around, and he was petting and grabbing at my leg, and I wasn't paying attention to him because I was trying to get the conversation out before my mind, forgot.
Cats don't care about stuff like that.
Yeah, and so I guess he got annoyed with me finally just like not petting him, and he goes, "Meow," and I was like, yes, I will pet you. In the middle of the conversation, I was like, yes, I will pet you. Hold on.
Walk up to that's pretty much every day when I get home.
Yes.
Like I have one cat that, yes, if I pay and I pet her and I'll greet her and everything, and then I'll go to talk to my wife. And if I didn't satisfy the greetings, she'll literally sit there and yell. Kim and I'm like, will you shut up? I can't talk. Because she's going, and
you're like, okay.
I know that pain.
Yes. So I'm petting the cat and finishing the conversation. And then he's like, roll over and now rub my belly. And I'm like, okay.
Does that cat like to be picked up?
He does.
See, that one, how I shut her up usually is I pick her up, throw her on my shoulder, and then we're fine.
So I have a photo of how he likes to be carried.
Yeah, and they're all like, cats are unique like that. Like one of my cats likes to put her over my shoulder, like and then another one, the other cat, she likes to be carried like a football. She loves that. Like you basically put her under your arm, and then basically let her legs hang over your hands, and you just carry her like a football. And like you carry any other way, she complains. You carry her like that, she's fine as can be. Kind of weird.
That's how he likes to be carried.
That's how Hannah. That's a big old cat.
He is.
Golly, that thing's huge.
Yeah.
Holy
He's
cow.
like the size of a Cocker Spaniel.
It's a cool cat, though.
He is.
Oh, man.
And he headbutts. He's like, oh, give me left. Poof.
The love button. That one hurts, probably.
Yes. And then here's Milo. Here's the other big cat. And his motor sounds like a dirt bike.
Got the loud motor.
Yes. Both of them do.
You sure they ain't got tortoise shell in them? I'm seeing a lot of tortoise traits.
They're both big old boys, so
good deal. But they'll be coming
out. I think Tuesday.
Good. So come on down. Tuesday or Wednesday morning, and of course you can you see them online right now?
Yeah, their pictures are online.
Right, RoswellHumane.org. You can go see them and meet. And of course, if you want any questions, want more information, don't hesitate to call.
Email.
I heard you talking about the radio. I saw them. Tell me a little about one of these cats.
I'll tell you a lot about them because it's been a lot of time with them.
And this, trust me, this is how, because when you find pets that are in quarantine, but you for whatever reason you're just gravitating to that pet, please check in. At the end of the day, these are good indicators to your staff and everybody to make sure that, hey, when folks are coming to adopt pets, we want to make sure that they are fully invested into making this animal part of their family. If anything other than that is what's going on, we really don't want you adopting these pets.
Right.
So,
basically, we matchmake. We matchmake the animals to the families that they're best going to be suited with.
Yeah.
And if we feel it's not a good suit, we'll tell you, we think that this is not a good match. Let's continue looking to find a good match for your family.
And everybody's unique situation, it's depending on, like if you have a lot of animals, pets that don't do well around other animals probably shouldn't be adopting because you're creating a stressful situation where it doesn't need to be there for them.
Right.
And to be honest, at the end of the day, the Humane Society wants all the families to have loving, but that their goal is to make sure every single animal that calls that place home goes to a place that's going to be 10,000 times better and where they came from, and then where they're currently at now.
Yeah, it's going to be their forever home.
Yeah, and so that's what the end game is here, and this is so that's why the rules for adoption at the Humane Society versus the animal shelter are not the same, because for a couple, I mean, the Humane Society is a no-kill shelter and things, but they are more scrupulous because at the end of the day, if you don't meet these qualifications, the odds that this animal will be right back where it started is much higher.
It is. And a lot of people tell us, well, it's extremely hard to adopt. Well, we have these policies and procedures set in place for multiple reasons. One is to make sure that animal's going to the best home we can find. Mm-hmm. And two, that it's going to be a smooth, easy adoption transition. So it gives you a good feeling about adoption. So you'll continue to adopt an animal. Mm-hmm. And three, it's reducing the amount of animals that are getting adopted and having to come back into the shelter. Because
Absolutely.
One, that's a stressful situation on the animal. But two, it becomes stressful on the family as well mm-hmm. when it doesn't match up. Yeah. Now, there are times where we go through every single thing and everything works out great, and then they get home and then things happen and it mm-hmm. doesn't work out. Unfortunately, that cannot be prevented because there are things that are just going to happen.
You can't be 100% certain about everything.
Right.
That's good. If you could do that, then maybe you should move to Vegas and look at sports betting.
Give me some numbers. Give me some numbers.
Right.
But we try our best to make sure that these animals that we're placing are going to be smooth, easy adoptions and transition into the family and not be like a nightmare.
Yeah, we want every experience to be a good experience.
Yes.
But here's the thing, too, is if circumstances were different, had we not the pet overpopulation issues and the all the issues,
right?
Maybe they could lighten some of this stuff up. But because of the nature of the beast we're dealing with here, I get it. There's probably 1 to 2 people that I don't have a fenced in yard, but trust me, I'm going to be a good dog owner. You're probably right. We don't doubt that. But if we let you do that, then we let the next person do that, then why do we have rules? And guess what? If you think we have a bad situation now, wait till it's unchecked at all and see how bad it is.
Right.
And so for that reason alone, because of the circumstances of which we currently live in, they cannot really be flexible on these rules. The rules are the rules, and the only way we can make a dent into dropping some of this stuff is to not be flexible on some of these rules. So.
Right. It's just like any child adoption. You would expect them to be very meticulous and particular about where these children are going.
Absolutely.
Well, we feel the same way about these animals. They might not be humans and not everybody looks at them as a part of their family. Well, we do. And that's why they are
absolutely
kept to the highest standards. And if you are not within the highest standards, we will direct you elsewhere.
You look at it as a dog or a cat, they look at it as a brother, sister, cousin, uncle, because that's really kind of, how you look at it. It's part of the family, part of the deal.
I laughed because the way you said that. We had one of our little chihuahuas just got adopted this week. And so the adopter came in and she's doing the paperwork and she goes, "Oh, I'm so happy to be bringing home a grand doggy." And I laughed and I said, "Grand doggy?" I said, "You're the one adopting it." She goes, "I'm the mom. I have kids and my kids cannot have kids and they picked the dog." She goes, "So this is their kid." She goes, "So it's my grand doggy." And I laughed. And she even had like a little tag made that says, like a little tag that says Grand Doggy of the Year.
That's cool.
I was like, oh my gosh.
See when they embrace that stuff. That's when hey, we nailed it. We got this loving family. This is what they're going to, this animal's going to be creating. And that's the cool part too, because at the end of the day, if the Humane Society is doing their part, you know what that's going to create? A lifetime of memories for you. You're going to have, however long you have that pet, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, depending on the type of animal, of course. Especially with families, if your kids are a certain age, guess what? That's going to be your kid's companion for
a long time.
And guess what? 30 years from now, when everyone's sitting at reunions or tables or Christmas, they're going to be talking about Scruffy or whatever pet that was, that was there. And that's that. And then it's the experiences, the things it did, the crazy things the dog did, the stuff that, the amazing feats, because every time your pet impresses you, because I don't care who your pet is or what your pet is, during its life, you're going to see it doing amazingly smart things and amazingly dumb things.
Yeah.
And you're going to be enthralled by all of it. And
it could happen all in the same moment. Wow, that's completely intelligent and stupid all at the same time.
Like I literally see my cat catch mice, do smart things, and then get a camera bag stuck on her head. So that's
yeah. So. I went to put up our small dog the other night because she sleeps in her kennel. That's her alone time. She likes it. She loves it.
Most dogs usually that's their safe space, their sanctum. If you do it right.
The only time she wants to sleep in bed with us is if she doesn't feel good. Other than that, she's like she puts herself to bed and closes her door.
Okay.
She's like, I'm done.
Does temperature come to play with that? Because it does with us, the cats. Like if the cats think it's too warm back there, they sleep up front. They think it's too cold, they'll hunker under the bed.
She's cold 24/7. She's 6 pounds.
See, I'm surprised she's not like constantly wanting to be in the bed with you. Then usually cats or animals that are cold all the time, they want to snuggle.
Yeah, no, she wants her snuggle, but then
not at sleep time.
Nope. Because she can't sleep in her weird positions.
That's it right there.
Yes.
You were the hubby. Kick them to the curb.
Because she sleeps like that.
Yeah, that could be a problem. That's the ultimate comfort sleep, though.
Yeah.
Like when a cat sleeps like that, they are in a complete safe environment in their head.
Yeah, she's fully upside down on her back, 1 foot out of the cover.
Yeah. And that's the thing you learn as a pet owner, too, is you learn their signs. You learn their language. Next thing you know, you're a dog expert and a cat expert because you kind of, what their tells are and what when they act and behave in a certain way, you know what that means and what that, and really the only way you learn is you live with a pet and become it's part of its family and you part of it. And you, just like everybody else, humans, the more you hang out with them, the more you learn about them. Same with your cats and your dogs.
Right.
And to be honest, they'll work with you. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you have weird habits and things, your pets will adopt them with you.
Yeah. So I like to munch on cheese. I like to get the cheese cubes, and I like cheese. Every time I go in the kitchen and the cheese bag, and I can open any other bag in the world, they do not come running until they hear the cheese bag. And then it's, I get a bite, you get a bite, bite, and then I get a bite. So they're just sitting there like, can you hurry up and take another bite so we can have another bite?
Yeah, it's like, hey, you're messing up the procedure here.
Yeah, it's more like puff, puff, pass. It's more like munch, munch, pass.
Right. I opened a can of worms with because I'm a fan of like those smoked turkey legs. I'll just get them like you get them ready to eat. I'll literally get one, open up, and start chewing on it. And so I now what I've been doing is when I get one, I go get 2 little bowls and I start because the meat's good. I don't want them to eat the skin and some of the other stuff, obviously, but so I'll go and then I'll shred some of that and the loudmouth is extra loud. She's always loud. But even the one that's not so loud is loud when that goes like I'm sitting and the whole time because it takes me about 5 minutes to because I hand pick it and kind of make sure there's no bones or any gnarly anything in it.
Right.
And then I put it down and it's literally and I'm like I don't want them near me. I want it by their bowl. So I have to walk across the kitchen with these things and it's like a steady stream of well, I'm trying to get, and I'm like, you got to get out the way so I can put it down. And then we do that fight. But now, I've created a monster. Because if I even remotely get near the turkey legs or anything, now they're the trigger. They catch a whiff. But, oh, my God, they love it. So that's their new thing.
John's the popcorn guy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. We get, like, the smart popcorn. He'll open a bag, and the dogs are like...
My old dog, Sissy. Love Sissy. She was that way with jerky. I could not eat jerky in the house.
Toby loves jerky.
I open a thing of jerky, and it's because I'll never forget. We back when we first got as a puppy, we did on a road trip to somewhere Lubbock or Waco or something. I don't remember where we were going. It was something, and it was probably Waco, something longer because it was a longer trip. So we were going, and I literally got beef jerky at the gas station. Of course, we had our little water thing for Sissy and her food and all that. But I was hungry. And I wanted some jerky. And Sissy's back there and opened the jerky. I'm like, oh, you want some jerky? And I was really kind of in an adamant not trying to feed her people food and things. I didn't want her begging. I didn't want her, you know what I mean? But I was like, come on. It looks like a dog treat. How can I not say no to this, you know? So, yeah. And so from that moment on, that sealed the deal on jerky.
She's like... We bonded over a bag of jerky.
That's right. So, but I get all that. But that's again back to adopting. This is the fun stuff. Your family life just it's so much more.
Your moments
fun.
change the second you have an animal in your life.
Yeah, and you're doing it right.
Or cat or dog.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. And this is the part we got to stress, and this is why the Humane Society has the rules in place that they have. Owning a pet is not a cheap enterprise.
No.
If you cannot afford a pet, if you're right now saying, "Man, my bills are tight and all this," adopting a pet, this might not be the best time to do that because there is expenses. Just the initial stuff alone, with getting the pet spayed and neutered, you're going to spend a few $100s. I mean, yes, there's only a slight adoption fee, but to get the pet spayed, neutered, chipped, all that stuff, you're going to spend several $100s doing all that stuff right from the get-go.
And then getting the supplies, the setup.
And if you're never owned a pet, you might need to get a cat bed or a dog bed or some food, And obviously, if it's a puppy, you're not going to be feeding them adult foods and things. You want to certain diets on kittens and puppies, and things. And then that's that research too. Do your research. And I know this is where people are like, well, you get, but you walk it out in the pet food aisle and they're hitting you with 100 different things, and some of it's good for your dogs and cats, and some isn't. And learn the differences and learn which ones are more, because a lot of the, it's like your food. You walk down the chip aisle, there's a lot of processed foods and things. Same thing with the cat food and the dog food aisle. Some of it's, and it is a rule of thumb. It's a bad rule of thumb, but it is the rule of thumb. Generally, the more expensive the dog or cat food is, probably the more legit good it is, just because it's got fresh ingredients, natural, less processed, less dyes and crap. So generally speaking, your blue buffaloes and your ones that are generally pricier are generally better quality food for your pet.
And you don't have to feed as much.
Exactly.
And
so it kind of does balance out in the wash.
It does. It does balance out. So, like when you're feeding a higher quality food, it has more natural foods, nutrients in it, and it makes them feel fuller.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Just like humans.
Just like, if we go and eat half a loaf of bread, we're going to feel fuller versus if you eat 2 pieces of sourdough bread, you feel full.
Sure.
So it's the same thing, the more quality you pay, the better product you get, but you also don't eat as much of it.
Sure. So, but again, it's expensive. And I don't care what you say, raising a pet, cost-wise, is almost equivalent to raising a child. I mean, as far as medical, health care. And
they now have pet insurance.
And this is kind of the questions you need to be asking before you adopt your pet. A lot of people sit there and look at pictures and things and, ooh, I love this particular purebred, or I love pugs, I love bulldogs. Great. You understand that owning one of those types of pets is going to be a lot more needs and care than saying owning a mutt or a lab or something, because pets like pugs, pets like bulldogs,
less medical.
They have more medical needs. They breathing issues, slobbering issues. Smaller dogs have different needs than bigger dogs, and to be honest, they're equally as important. Big dogs tend to have hip issues and things like that. So you're going to have to address that. Little dogs, they usually have digestive, and that's why you see them getting the what is that anal thing where they do all that's more common in little dogs than it is in big dogs.
Anal glands.
Yeah, that's that. Wherever want that job, but somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean? But more frequently you see little dogs needing that kind of stuff. It's all, and breeds are breeds. If you, and to be honest, and this is kind of, we've had the discussion, purebred dogs are going to have medical issues because
they're inbred.
It's inbred. It's exactly what it is. It's no different than you and family members together. That's exactly what's going on with that, and that creates, A, lesser intelligent animals, but B, creates a malady of medical issues and things like that, and things don't work the way the good Lord intended because you're crossbreeding it into its own self and everything else, where 9 times out of 10 you find yourself some mix, even if it's a little mix. It looks mostly like a pit bull, a German shepherd, but there's some lab in there, or some retriever or something in, or Chihuahua.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to be honest, those dogs are generally healthier, and they're smarter, and generally better tempered dogs too. Generally, a better temperament dog. So if you're looking for family dogs roll, the kids can roll around the floor. You do you, but I find that mutts generally you have better quality of life with those types of pets. Just me personally, for those types of things.
They do. Sorry, not enough coffee yet. when you have like a purebred animal, regardless if it's a big dog, small dog, medium dog, they're going to have more medical issues. When you have a mixed breed, you breed down a lot of those medical issues, but then also mixed breeds could also be the worst of two breeds medical
Depending
combined.
what got mashed up in that salad there,
do a lot of research. You know, whatever breeds you think you're interested in, research about them. If you're unsure about things, talk to me. I can help you out for a good portion of that. And, you know, you could tell me, hey, this is my lifestyle.
What kind of dog would be?
I have allergies to dogs, or I'm allergic to cats, or whatever.
Sure.
And we can help figure something out for you.
And that's the beauty of it is really because it's setting that, because like you said, if you're whatever your lifestyle is, that the animals incorporate that. But there are certain breeds, and that's where you can say, you know, let's just face it, there, because every breed of dog has its own personality traits, characteristics, and things like that. And you know, so certain dogs mixed with other dogs might, you know, this is why, like I had my sissy, when I lost in 2015 here. She was
it's been 10 years.
Yeah, I know. It's been that long. It's crazy. She was a mix of a lab and a pit bull. Of course, everyone hears that word pit bull, and you know, either they're pit bull owners and they're cool with them, or they're like Judge Judy and think every one of them should be shot and killed.
There's no in between.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I'm telling you right now, I've never met her. I never met a more loving, intelligent, and just in tune dog than Sissy. That dog could sense when you're sad, when you're happy. The only times I ever saw her get in a anger-like mode was when someone approached the house that she knew was not supposed to be at the house. And I have never seen that. Like I saw a dog that I would thought would let a fly land on her nose and she just lick it. You know what I mean? To see her go ready to fight. And I was like, wow. And I was so blown away about it because that was so not in her nature. And because of the love and the environment we created in, the lover, not the fighter, was ready to be a fighter to protect what was hers.
Right.
And that's what you get and if you do it right, that's what you get with a pet. You know?
It's funny you say that. My sister has two pit bull mixes, and we did the embark on all the dogs in the house. And so her two pit bull mixes are pit bull, lab, beagle, and something else. So they got a few things.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not very big. Literally, they're just a smidge bigger than a beagle.
Sure.
And one of them, Jasmine, something had fallen in the kitchen the other day. And I was like, what was that? So I got up to go look. Well, Jasmine went with me. All the other dogs are like, mm-mm. And so my sister started laughing. She goes, well, there's your ride or die right there.
Yeah.
Because she walked around the corner. Her ears were slicked back. And so she poked her head around the washing machine. And I was like, I'm right here, you know, like she's inspecting.
Sure.
And so
what's going on here?
I'm walking around, and then everybody else is like,
yeah,
I can't be bothered from my nap.
You will get that personality where groups of pets are like people.
Yep.
Some have strong personality. They think, look, I'm in charge here. And literally, and I see it more with cats than dogs. But
yes.
And I also see it more with smaller breed dogs than larger breed dogs.
Well, even my little 6-pounder, all she did was pick her head up and she's
not
like,
all of them. Yeah, some of them are lazy as could be, or disinterested.
Depending
as could
on
be.
the sound is
Sure.
what gets her going.
Yeah.
But it was just like,
I guarantee if it was like the snacks box or whatever like that, she would have been first one in line.
or somebody knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy,
Yeah.
she does not concur with you knocking on the door.
And I wonder, like, is there something in the post office uniform that dogs just don't like? Because, like, it doesn't matter who the post person is. If they're walking and there's a dog in a window, they're barking.
I think it's the different smells that they carry from the bags and packages. Because, you know, they come from multiple places all over the world.
Maybe that's it. It's
and
just,
so it's the smells that they carry with them.
And
Yeah.
that makes sense. I never thought of it that way, but that makes perfect sense. But getting back to point here, breed of dogs, do that research on that. Certain breeds are known for certain. If you're looking for a good family dog, generally speaking, I'm not saying always, but if you're looking the ones you want to roll on the floor with, bigger dogs like your labs, your retrievers, those kind of dogs are, or medium size, your terriers, things like that. Most of them, and then there's other dogs, like your little dogs, they can be very loving, but they can be hit or miss because every little dog has big dog mindset. And that's why Chihuahuas, you can be the most loving dogs, but they might be ready to bite your face off, even though they can't because they're the size of your pocket, but they try really hard.
If you got squishy cheeks, it could get your cheeks.
And so a lot of it is that, but once you cut through the creamy middle and you earn the trust of these pets, then you see the other personalities. You see the side. You'll see what the public wants them to see until you crack the creamy middle here and get into their worlds and earn their trust and respect and love. Once that happens, then you see the real personality of these pets. And that little Chihuahua that you thought looked like a rat, and you know what I mean? Once it's your rat, then you see the other side.
And you're like, oh, that's my little rat.
Yeah, that dog is a rat, but you know what? I'll go to war with that dog because I've seen what that dog will do when we're just, you know what I mean? And that's the part that the outside world don't get it, and only you get it. And you can be a pet lover, and you'd be like, well, that's Chihuahua, but once you're a Chihuahua, it's different. And then it's Mama Bear or Papa Bear. That's what happens. And and this is what the fun part is. And so if you have questions and want to do it right and get into, please don't hesitate to call or come by and ask and say, look, I'm new to this, but I really want something, and this is our lifestyle and this is some of our, medical needs and things like that. Talk about that. And let's let them play Match.com and match you the perfect pet for your family.
Humane Society's new link, Match.com. I do have some stuff for the thrift store.
Yeah,
really
we
quick.
do it.
Yes, because they reopened yesterday.
Yes,
because they did the spring cleaning, rearranging, clearing all the dust.
I did mention the 10 o'clock club yesterday on the radio. Real quick.
Yeah,
I was talking, so.
Man, that parking lot was packed.
Yeah, it was a big group in the 10 o'clock. I hope the regulars got the pecking order. They earn they've been there every week. That's. You got to put in the time to get in front. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. So if you have any like Walmart, Albertsons, Farmers, grocery bags, the little bags, and you got a stockpile of them,
would love to take them off your hands.
Please do, because that's what we use when we bag up small items and we.
What I have in my house, and hopefully everyone else has it, I have a sewn together fat lady. What I call is a fat lady, and it's
you just stuff it full.
Yeah, it's a doll that Kim's grandmother made for us, and the back end's open, and you can. And so it's. I mean, obviously not fat. It's only fat when I fill it, but I just call her the fat lady, and so you just grab. So if you got your own fat lady of bags, maybe drop that off at the Humane Society.
Yes, please. Right now. If you are moving into a new place and you need a new washer or dryer, they have a washer dryer. They have two washer dryer sets.
2 sets.
2 sets.
All right.
They have a dishwasher. I think they have 2 dishwashers.
Okay.
I don't know. A lot of comforters, brand new comforters.
Ooh.
They have a dining room buffet. The little thing.
The kind of like
that. Yes. That. They have an antique round oak table.
Oh wow! I bet that's worth some money.
It's heavy.
Yeah. Well, if it's solid oak.
And
then, you know what? That's an heirloom type piece. It sounds like.
It is.
Yeah.
It does not have. There are 2 chairs, but they do not match the table.
Okay.
But there are 2 chairs. They have a very huge microwave. So, the people that like to cook in their microwave.
Like a turkey?
Yeah. They got one of those. They have mid-century lamps.
Okay.
Really cool looking mid-century lamps. One of them, the cord does need to be repaired, but that's
an easy fix.
It is an easy fix.
Modicum of electronic skills. You can swap it out in an hour.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I think you can buy a kit for it at the hardware store, and you literally just unplug and plug back in.
Hobby Lobby sells them too.
Yeah.
They have a lot of medical equipment, wheelchairs. They have a really cool mountain bike. So any bikers out there that like to go biking.
We have beautiful country for it, so I imagine we have quite a few of them. I mean, you can't find a good place to go biking around here. You're kind of not trying very hard.
Right. Purses galore. They have so much more. They've gone through. They've pulled out like old things that just weren't selling to bring out new stuff.
Sure.
They did some rearranging. They did the purses. They reorganized the purses where you could just. They're kind of like on a clothes rack. So you just slide them back and forth.
Yeah, so kind of like when you get sunglasses, they got that rotating little thing, and it's kind of something similar to that.
Yep,
that makes
but
sense. Gotcha.
They did a whole bunch of stuff, touching up on things that needed to be touched up.
And trust me, if because as a wife, and you yourself know these things as well, and too in your own world, if you have the fetish, for lack of a better term, for things like shoes, purses, bedding. Trust
Totes,
me, if you're one of those folks that
containers.
like to swap those out is very often, you're going to spend a lot of money buying that stuff new. I'm literally, you could go to the Humane Society, and this is for folks that have that, I'll call it a problem.
Oh,
let's turn your problem into a solution let's do the regular rotation with the Humane Society. So get your purses, get the ones and then when you're, all right, I'm done with it, donate it back. I know deep down in your head, it's like, I need all the purses. I know. We're going to have to work on that. We'll work on that. Let's donate a couple of these. And then when you get a new one, donate one of these other ones. Let's start this. Let's start the healing.
So pre-marriage, I'm going to say this, pre-marriage.
Yeah.
Yes, I had more purses than I would like to admit to.
Uh-huh.
And 95, maybe 99% came from the thrift store. Very few would I buy at like stores.
Sure.
Thrift store.
But I have a wife with expensive taste. And we're dropping $200 for Michael Kors purses and all this. And I'm like, all right, we got to stop doing this.
So the most expensive.
That was early in the marriage.
Most expensive purse I have ever bought in my life was a Vera Wang. And it was $99 and it was on sale.
See, you at least work within your means.
I am a cheapo, and I want that taste, but I don't want to spend that taste money.
My wife wants that taste, but she wants to say that. You know what I mean? She's got that in her. That's her little, like, she grew up, and then her mom's the same way. They like the name and the note. They like the Nautica written on there or whatever that thing. You know, whatever it is that people get to. That's their bag. They love that. Her mom's that way. She's that way. Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm all thrift store.
You're like I got pants on. I mean, I'm literally wearing a T-shirt. I think I got this at like Marshall's for $2 or $5, and these sweatpants I know I probably got for like $10 because I literally don't. The most expensive thing I buy is shoes.
Yes,
and I'll wear them till they look just decrepit before I know.
Now shoes I've always been very meticulous about because you got to take care of your feet, but I'm not that. Yes, I have a purse issue, as you call it.
Well, my wife does too. That's what I did. So I'm speaking as much to my wife as I am to anybody else. But she also has a comforter problem.
Oh, okay, no, I don't.
That one's
I have a blankie problem.
At one point, we could have bedded like 7 beds, and we only had like 2 in the house. So
I have a blankie problem, and so I have a blankie where, like, if it's cold in the front room, I cover up with.
Yeah.
And then because some days I am very cold and my husband is not, I have a extra blankie that I could just toss on the bed. But I have a blankie problem because I want to rotate them out.
Sure.
And I like the soft, fluffy, squishy blankies.
I do. I kind of.
When we go on like car trips, I take a blankie.
I'm a fan of a good throw. We have a good assortment at our house because we have seasonal ones.
Yeah.
There's like ones like the thicker ones for like the winter, and then like I got one that you can almost see through it, but it's soft, and so that's my summer one.
I like that, my summer one.
Just all the time. We better wrap this up. We gotta stop talking about blankets.
If you have a blankie problem too,
all right, come on down.
The thrift store has a ton of them. They've done so much work this last week in rearranging and making things look so much nicer and open, where it's easier to get to things. Yeah. So come down, even if it's not to shop, come look.
Come look and come or donate.
Yes, donate. I want to say thank you to KOB for airing our story yesterday morning
about the
theft,
the break-ins and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. That's hopefully going to help deter a lot of people from coming and taking, but also getting the word out for people that are leaving the donations, not realizing that we're not getting them.
And trust me, if you are in need, if you are one of the folks that need, when the thrift store is open, go in there, talk to Camille, tell her your situation. I guarantee they will reach across and help you in any way they can possibly do so.
And so what we've been telling everybody, because a lot of people are very controversial about things. Mm-hmm. One, we cannot put up a fence. We do not own that parking lot. We share it with the daycare or the preschool and the park.
Logistics do not allow for that to happen.
Two, the cost to put a fencing up in that area would be very expensive, and we don't have that kind of funding. And three, if we put up a fence, then people would just be cutting the chain link and we'd be spending more money on repairs.
Whenever you build a mousetrap, someone's building the thing to get out of the mousetrap.
Yes.
That's always the case.
But if you need donations picked up, call us. We will come. We'll make time. We'll make arrangements. We'll come and we'll pick it up. If you can't be at home, you can say, hey, it's on the side over here by the garage door or whatever, and we'll come and get it.
We'll work with you on making arrangements there.
Yes. Yeah. And if you are in need of help, please don't feel ashamed. Everybody needs help at times, come in, talk to Camille, explain the situation, and then you guys can make arrangements for whatever, okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, please reach out. They will work with you.
Yes.
And then when you're in a better situation, maybe you can come and help the Humane Society back when you get a chance. So that's what it's about, helping each other out and all that.
Right.
And they love to do that. But every time folks, and I just did the time I got to shut up, but every time folks break in and do that, you're not only costing time and energy, but you're costing valuable money that now will not go to help animals. Because and I get people who had their way about, well, if it's intended for, but it was intended to be help animals. That's what it was donated for. So when someone else decided what was best for the donation you made, how do you feel about that?
Right.
And that's what was going on there a little bit. And it's not fair to people that with good intentions that say, look, I want the Humane Society here to get this, and now they won't. So, but anyway, RoswellHumane.org is the website. If you want to be a member, if you want to serve, that's a great way to be as well. Your
newsletters are going to be coming out for April, so if you haven't paid your dues, please send in your dues so that way I can keep you on the mailing list.
Absolutely, and then and then come to the when they have their annual meetings, when the membership meetings, come to those because that you do get a say in yes, your membership's appreciated, and because it's all used to help for pet food and vet bills and all this stuff, but it does come with a say in how things happen.
It does. It does.
Be a part of it. So good deal. Did we get it all, Crystal?
And we got it all.
Awesome. Well, thank you as
and
always.
Then some.
We'll see you here in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
It is 10:01. We got to go. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. News in progress. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Journalist about U.S. attack plans against Houthi rebels. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says top national security officials did not discuss sensitive attack plans over the messaging app.
There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information. You know who